All right, we're good.
Good?
Yeah.
Yo, this is Ello.
And it's that Chico JServe.
This is the Parental Advisory podcast, and we have a special guest today.
Yes, we do.
The always insightful Emmanuel George.
Emmanuel George.
What's good, everybody? What's
Hey,
good?
what's going on, man? What's going on?
Chilling, man. It's cool. I'm thankful to be on the show, man.
man.
I've always been a fan of what y'all doing, and finally it's happened, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has been a minute. We were saying off mic. You were saying, like, I remember.
This has been like...
a solid, almost a year in the making, damn near?
like half a year.
Yeah.
Half a year in the making.
Damn near, it felt like a year.
Yeah.
Shit. Because I remember him talking about, he's like, yeah, and then we could have, he's like, I remember telling him, he's like, we have this guy, I met him on Facebook, he's Emmanuel George, and he does, he's like a community activist, and, he's very big in Broward history and all this type of stuff, and...
Like, already off topic, off the mic, we were talking about games to... politics to
we fucking
RuneScape to and
RuneScape and
it was all
everywhere.
over the place.
We took it everywhere.
That's the first 10 minutes.
Okay, so Emmanuel, from off top, where can the people find you? First of all, all your social media, any websites, anything you want to plug.
You can find me on Instagram at Black Broward. You can find me Facebook Emmanuel George. My whole name Emmanuel George. And that's pretty much where I'm at. Snapchat, Huey_shooting. Like Huey Newton, Huey shooting.
Nice. Nice.
So, guys, definitely check out all his social media. Subscribe, like him, comment,
True.
And, where can they find you, Serve?
At JServe954 for all my social media. At JServeTV for YouTube.
You can find me at ElloSo463 for all social media and ElloSoYT for YouTube.
Yeah, now, Emmanuel, how did you basically come into this role that you're kind of playing now? I know that's kind of a overbroad question. I guess
better question.
Let's take it back. Let's take it back from the beginning.
How long have you been doing it?
Well, I could curse.
This is whatever. This is whatever.
It's parental advisory.
It's parental advisory.
Yeah, I've been doing this stuff for about since 2014. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing it. It really started. I mean, I've always been a socially aware guy. You know what I'm saying? I was always into reading and knowing my history. My dad was involved in the Black Power movements in the 70s.
Really? Oh, word.
In the islands of my family from Dominica.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And my great grand uncle actually was the head of the UNIA in Dominica. Which was Marcus Garvey's.
Oh, wow.
United Negro Improvement Association.
Wow.
And so it was always in my blood, but I was always distracted by other things like playing sports, girls.
But you had games. That I guess you had that gene, just historically you've just had that.
Yeah, it was always there. It was always there, and that's basically how I started, and then what really kicked it off was a lot of the police injustices was happening. The Mike Brown one pretty much set it off, and I just wanted to get involved because too many times people be on social media and then they just always talk about a bunch of revolutionary stuff, right, but they don't really be doing shit. I think
keyboard revolutionaries.
I think the media had a big play in that too.
Oh yeah, most
media
definitely
had a big play in that, and on both sides when it came to, because it was over the top. And then it was
Fox News. Mike Brown was this thug or whatever that was robbing a convenience store or whatever. Yeah. And then meanwhile, MSNBC is they're playing it for their tactics. They're making it political. Right. This is what's happening, in America, and they're just playing up. And the Democratic Party, wouldn't be able to stand for something like this. This is why we need more They weren't talking about it as the loss of a human life. It was because of this. This is why you should have Democrats in the White House. I remember hearing that. Even buddy that
everybody had an agenda.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody had an agenda. Everybody.
The fucking scary part is that Fox News is so good at what they fucking do. It's scary, how they
brainwash people.
I feel like Fox News, out of all the news stations, is the best if you were to label them as an organization for the Republican Party.
Oh, totally.
But they don't see themselves as that way, nor do they portray themselves as that way.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
It's all the same things. I always say we're Republicans and liberals. It's all the same thing. It's like what Malcolm X was saying. It's like the wolf and the fox. One is just more open with it. You know, and that's just how I see it. And it's the same thing. One group is, fuck you. The other one is just
Yeah, on the low.
So it's just on the low. So it's all the same thing. But that's pretty much been me. I don't even like to consider myself an activist, because activism is kind of like the whole term for it isn't like, to me, like what it really stands for. Like a lot of people be in it for money because it pays well, and they be in it for their own agenda.
Activism pays?
Activism pays.
Of course.
What?
How?
Of course.
What?
Please.
Some of these people are making.
You gain followers, bro.
You gain followers. I mean,
Oh, I guess like what, speaking engagements and that sort of stuff.
Well, I mean, a lot of like the nonprofit industrial complex, a lot of the, like these social justice organizations, they pay people really well, and to do all these things that they do. Like when you see them traveling across the world and this and that. I mean, so the thing is, when you tie in money into it, it's like how serious are you for it, or is this your 9 to 5?
That's true.
And like, are you really about to like really be about transformative change, or it's just like, okay, I'm doing this because it pays well. I'm gonna do a little something here and here, but I'm not gonna go this far because now it affects my pay.
Right.
So that be my stance with it, and that's my thing. Like I just say that I'm a community. I just say like I'm someone that just doing what's right, and I'm all about like being creative and just using art and organizing other people who are creative as well to do something dope.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, that's actually a good thing, a good distinction.
Community outreach. You're basically
it's community organizer. It was one of the things, because it's funny now. Activist has kind of taken, it's now more of a connotation. It's not so much a different connotation than it is nowadays.
I mean, the media knows how to play with words. Because let's put it this way: when they were called neo-Nazis after the march that they recently had, they were like, okay, that's a bad word. We're going to call ourselves white nationalists. And now they're turned now.
Well, yeah, because white supremacist was too much.
Was too much.
It's a little aggressive.
So now it goes from white supremacists to white nationalists. Now from white nationalists, they're freedom fighters. That's what they're literally trying to change. There was actually a memo that I saw. It was from Reddit, where one of the organizers from these rallies were like, "What we need to do is we need to start calling ourselves freedom fighters, because then if we do, there's no way they can then say that we're trying to hurt America. We're freedom fighters. We're trying to help America.
We gonna make it white again."
And the sad part is, there's a lot of Americans who fall into this tactic, and they hear that word and they're like, oh, okay, these guys must be the good guys.
Now, Emmanuel, to kind of go back a little bit, where did you grow up?
Oh man, all right. Well, long story. Like I was born in Overtown, Jackson Memorial Hospital.
Okay.
And I grew up. I went to elementary school in North Miami. I went to Oak Grove. Then I went to Miami Shores. Then I went to North Miami Middle. Then I went to Horace Mann. Then I went to North Miami Middle. I kind of been around a lot.
Jesus Christ.
But
My man.
A lot of it was because, like, growing up, like, Horace Mann was, like, a real deal trap school, and then, like, there was, like, stabbings, all kind of crazy stuff happening. But then my mom was like, okay, you're not going to go there.
It sounds like the lean on me.
You're going to go to North Miami Middle. But North Miami Middle was the same thing.
True.
So
True.
I went to North Miami Middle. Then we went to Broward in 2002, and I've been here ever since. I went to South Broward High School. Went there all 4 years. Bulldog alumni.
Shout out to South Broward.
That's just where I pretty much been, and that's my story. Hollywood, Dania Beach.
What was, because you've mentioned it a couple times now. That athletics came into your life. And they very much took your focus. And your drive, and you work towards that a lot. Now, what were the events that led to you to make that shift? That where you decided, I need to do more for us here.
Oh, I mean, a lot of it is like the history, because like Black history is all over, but what really pushed me was like I want to know what's going on in my own backyard. I was doing a lot of community stuff in like Miami, so I was knowing like Keon Hardiman, commissioner in Overtown. I was knowing Edmondson, all these people in Miami.
It's a big eye opener when you first go and do some community service.
Yeah, it's a big eye opener.
It was for me. When you had to go to school and they made you, to graduate, you had to do some community service hours, and like you go and you're like, I went to Salvation Army, and I just was like, giving food out, and I was like, holy shit.
It's a huge eye opener, know, and that's how I was doing. I was always in Miami, but then I was like, I live in Broward, and it's like I pay my taxes over here, but I don't know anybody in Broward. Like, I don't know these people pushing policies in my own neighborhood. Right. So I need to know, like, what's going on. And that's when I started to stick more in Broward. Mm-hmm. I built a network in Miami. I mean, I joined Roots Collective, you know, which is a grassroots movement of 6 or 7 black men. And we do all kind of dope shit in the hood, in the community events.
Where can they be found at?
Roots Collective, Roots_Collective on Instagram. You know, we sell clothes. We make dope threads. Shout out to Danny Agnew. They do the Roots Marketplace in Little Haiti. Okay. They talk about circulating the dollars and keeping the dollars back into the community. And that's pretty much how I started getting involved. Like, I need to know what's going on in Broward. I've always loved history, so like I've always liked black history, but there's like I need to know like local history. Like I need to know like there's more to why our communities are messed up. You know, like it's not like it'll just boom and this community was messed up. These communities were once thriving, and then something happened. You know, and that's why I started to do my research. Sorry, it's the cremas.
Yeah, them cremas, boy. So, I'm telling you,
you know,
man.
So like that's how it was for me. And then I just need to know my history more, and then I just started studying more, and that's what got me doing this documentary series I'm doing. On black communities in Broward County.
And what's it called?
Black Broward Film Project, episode 1. Black Broward Film Project, episode 1, A Tale of Sibling Communities, Danny and Liberia. And it's basically just a documentary series telling the past, present, and future of black communities, as well as how can we move forward in light of gentrification. Right. So it's more of a conversation piece. It's not just the A through Z typical.
That's going heavy right now in Miami. I know that.
Oh yeah, it's going there.
They were talking about it during the hurricane because the hurricane was going to negatively impact those areas.
True.
You know, the more destructive there is, the more it's inclined to get to higher land.
Right.
And that shit is just, you know, they're just buying them.
And guess where's the highest point above sea level? Northwest quadrants. Yeah. And that's where Overtown is at. Liberty City, Little Haiti. If you go to Broward, same thing. Sistrunk, Northwest Quadrant, Liberia, Danny, Northwest Hallandale, Pompano, off Atlantic. Everywhere is the Northwest Quadrants are always the highest above sea level. Right. So when it's the highest above sea level, developers they salivate, out the mouth. They
prime
love
land.
it. It's prime land. It's prime real estate. Yeah. And not only that, it's like look at where you're at. You're right by the 95 intersection. You're right by the beach. You're right by all kind of retail that's already there. So of course, like why not get these places?
Yeah. Now, as far as gentrification in Broward goes, would you be able to pinpoint as to specific areas that are being focused on in Broward?
Definitely. I mean, right by me. Gentrification, like I always see, it's coming to a black community near you. Yeah. But it's for example, in Danny, where Boomers used to be, where it used to be Grand Prix Racing Rama back in the day.
Okay.
Don't tell me that's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
And if you see it now, they're building an $800 million development mall, Dania Point, to compete with Sawgrass.
See, I haven't been around that part of town in a while, so I haven't seen it.
It's been a while. The last time I was over there, it was anywhere down in South Broward.
You don't see that roller coaster no more.
The wooden one. Yeah, I heard a lot of people died off that shit.
I never rode that. I heard a lot of people. A day in my life.
One of them I heard. The craziest story is so a guy he was really tall, right?
Hey, let me guess. He got beheaded.
Yeah, he got beheaded. Another guy flew off by the top. Where it goes at the peak? It just fucking flew off.
Never. I think if story serves me right, I think it's just something like it finally didn't pass an inspection check, and it was like beyond like repair. Yeah, like they were just like fuck it, so they just.
That's always the common thing when this is roller coasters, isn't it? And we didn't check it.
Yeah,
but people died.
But
so all that's becoming a mall.
It's going to be a shopping mall, an outdoor shopping mall, and
because that's what the community needs.
And it's right behind the Broward's first black community. And it's done by design.
Which one is Broward?
Danny's Broward's first black community. Dania Beach is Broward's first incorporated city, and the northwest side is Broward's first incorporated black community.
Oh wow!
So 1904.
Damn. So,
114 years?
Use that math, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, it's happening, and I just tell people to get involved, like any way possible. Like me is art. Like I love like film. I love podcasts. Like what I'm on here. Yeah. I love art. Like murals and stuff like that. You know, I just love creativity. You know, writing, you know, vlogs, all that. And I feel as if it's like, you know, the days of like marching and protesting is like it's over. Like we don't need to be doing that stuff no more. Like what's the point of me protesting, getting arrested, and then paying bail, and I'm paying the same system I'm fighting? Like,
that's a good point.
You know, like that makes no sense to me. So like my thing is like, let's be creative. Like Black Broward Film Project is to be a business. It's to be something that we can inspire kids in the next generation to do film. You know,
I think at this point, it's when you do protesting, getting arrested, I think it's based on an honor system now. Like
right,
I think it's a badge of honor.
I think it's not so much from the way Emmanuel's making it sound. It's not so much fighting a system as much as it is fighting it, but fighting it in the same way that it fights them. It's we're going to build our own institutions.
Right.
We're going to build our own industry.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and make it so that we're undeniable, and you have to listen to it.
Exactly.
You know, and the sad part is with this generation, like me and him were talking in the last podcast about this generation being a very, oh yeah, me too, or I like to be shown. There's a big thing of I rather look like I have money than have money.
Yeah, they're fickle.
You know what I mean? So when it comes to politics, it's like I rather you look at me like, yeah, I think I know what I'm talking about than actually knowing what I'm talking about.
Smart dumb people.
Yeah, they come out every election year.
Smart dumb cats
and like fucking
like Ghostface
droves.
yeah, man.
I think that's what's going on with the whole. At this point, like how you're saying, it doesn't make any sense for people to protest, and I'm pretty sure a majority of the think the same way you do.
A lot of people that you still see protesting is getting funded by these same social justice organizations, and it's the same method. You know, a lot of them that's their job. You know, to disrupt. That's why I be saying like, how effective can this be?
They just had some protests today in Africa. For the
about the H&M?
Like, they just pinpointed 6 stores in Africa and they just destroyed them.
Yeah, I saw that.
Man, that H&M thing, man.
Like, I mean, like, at what point?
That was, like...
Does somebody just go, guys...
At this point, I just want them to be honest.
Perhaps we can rethink this.
I'd rather you just say, yeah, we did it on purpose.
Yeah.
That's what we think of black people.
I like honest racism.
Yeah. At least we know who you are now.
Yeah. Okay, you're for real.
Yeah, you just stepped into the light.
Thank you.
I mean, my thing
I know not to fuck with you.
My thing is like, it's like people outraged. I understand people be off of emotions to be mad. They voice their opinion on Facebook, but what are alternatives? You know, like when that happened, when I seen that thing happen, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna drop links to black-owned clothing stores and businesses that you can shop from, so you don't have to complain about H&M. So instead of you complaining about it, okay, use this time to be creative. You know, like it's not that hard to print out some tees and make something dope.
Yeah.
You know, you just need a graphic designer.
It's 2018. You can do anything at this point.
You know, so it's like, why? My thing is like, if you want to complain, fine, but offer me an alternative.
Right.
Like, if you want to complain about H&M, like, offer me something that I could buy that I can get instead of this. You know, like, don't complain to me about we're gonna protest this Sprite, and then you don't have nothing. Okay, so what else is there? Oh, 7-Up. All right, cool, straight.
So,
you know, like
7-Up is just a company of Sprite.
Yeah,
you know,
it seems with today's outrage culture, it's just a lot of people just saying I'm mad, which is okay. You have that right, but then it's like, okay, now what? So you're mad. Now what are you gonna do?
Exactly.
You know, and I think that's a very big difference. You know, with Emmanuel, I've seen with than other people. You know, he's actively, trying to show
he's
different side.
He's one of the few that's gotten past
in a different
point.
Yeah,
right.
Some people just stay that way.
He did something about it. He put his money where his mouth was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It started doing something about it. You know, Black Broward Film Project. I mean, you have the Hub. Yeah. You know, you have. I mean, for God's sakes, he was on NBC.
Yeah.
You know, not too long ago.
How did that happen?
Yeah, how did that come about?
How did that
local celebrity Emmanuel George here.
The NBC story happened was there's a lady named Kitty Oliver. She wrote the book Race and Change in Hollywood, Florida, which was about the Black South Broward history in the 70s, in the 70s and before. And me and her are friends on Facebook, and she follows a lot of stuff that I do. And you know, she always gives me praise and props. And she texted me one day about NBC6 wanting to do a story on the beaches in Fort Lauderdale, and I told her, like, I mean, I know a little bit about the history of the segregation from the beaches in Fort Lauderdale. But I'm more of a South Broward history kind of guy. I mean, I could tell you about Lauderdale and Pompano here and there, but like I know, I could like blow your mind with some stuff in South Broward.
Right.
So that's what I was telling her.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Okay, cool." So she gave me Teresa. I forgot her last name. Teresa from NBC6, Haitian woman, and she's having her show and for Black History Month. And then she called me, and then we linked up. I came to the studio. And I did an interview there, and then she's like, "Oh, we're gonna have a reporter come to you, and then you kind of do your own thing,
like live on the."
Yeah,
oh, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we went through the community. I highlighted a lot of monuments, landmark spots in the area, and that was pretty much what it was, man. I mean, it was pretty dope, to see NBC6 come out and support something positive. And it was pretty cool.
That's awesome, man.
That's always good.
Now, you say you're very much your area of expertise is kind of like South Broward.
Yeah.
Specifically, Dania, Liberia, all those areas.
Hallandale.
Yeah, Hallandale. Now, I lived in my ties to South Broward are when I was a JIT. I lived in Hollywood.
Okay.
Off of Taft and what do you call it? And was it Harding Street? I want to say. Somewhere around 64th and Harding Street, I think it was. So, very much there. To me, back in my day, that was a very Latin populated area. In the area that I lived in, I used to go to the church right there, St. Stephen's, as a matter of fact.
It somewhat still is.
Right there on 441.
Somewhat still is.
Now.
I mean, much more different cultures moved in, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Now, as far as what is I guess what I'm trying to ask is like, as far as the end game for something like, for example, with like the Black Broward Film Project, you're saying is you want to use this as a vehicle, for youth for the future to go ahead and try to do something as far as a platform like film.
Exactly.
And now how many people are you in that project?
Well, it's me, Ian, man. Who's a videographer, editor, violinist.
Violinist?
Yeah, he's
a hell of a slash, man. Right there, bro.
You know how hard it is to learn how to play the violin, bro?
He's been playing the violin. He's been playing the violin since he was about 3 years old.
That's usually how it starts. You got to start young.
He must be amazing.
You got to start
phenomenal,
young. You don't just pick that shit up and be like, I'm going to play the violin today, motherfucker.
Yeah, like, he's dope. And, he raps. He does all kind of dope things. And it's also Preemie. I call him Preem, but his real name is Preemie Matthew. Real dope brother, and he's also a videographer, photographer, graphic designer. I said editor. I said that already. Editor. He's also a musician too, and he's like they're both dope people. They're like the Red Man and Method Man of like videography and editing.
Oh shit!
Like when they work together, like Preem would do some dope stuff. And then like Ian would be like, hold on, let me take over.
He tweaks it a
and then
little
he'll
bit.
tweak it up, and then it's kind of like, what are you doing? And then when you see what he's doing, it's like, holy shit.
Okay.
It's like Method Man and Red Man, or like Big Boy and Andre. That's like
True.
The
that kind of is like our relationship when it comes to music.
Yeah.
JServe, I kind of come with the hook, the concept, and he just tweaks it, and I'm just like, the fuck are you doing with my song, bro?
Yeah.
And
I'm like,
then
no. This needs to go here.
Yeah.
You should hear this guy. This guy, he's like, I don't know too much about music. So when I do music, it just comes from I did poetry, so it just comes from my mind. He's actually went to school and all that. So he goes and he's like hum, like into the mic to get a certain level. I'm like, I don't even know none of that shit. Like I'm sitting here looking, I'm like, what the hell are you humming? You read it, you retard, like retard.
Yeah. Look who says it.
Oh,
yeah.
By the way, is anybody else like mad that they want to take the term retard or the term idiot from people?
I get it.
Like to call you someone retard is now socially wrong.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
I want to talk.
Are you kidding me?
Listen,
there's a difference between me calling an idiot a retard and then me saying someone who's mentally retarded.
Right. No. I get what you mean.
You know what I mean?
I understand the argument.
At that point, it's just now we're being too soft.
I don't think so.
I think so.
No, because see, the thing is it's one thing if it's like a generalization, but like it's not like the entire populace is.
What about the context?
Exactly. Context does play a big factor.
Okay, so if we're joking around, I call you a retard. Some people just take that out of context. You know what I'm saying? It's
right.
But
what is it? But the thing is like it's the delineation of the word. So, you're not saying that to me because you think I'm a smart person.
No.
You're saying that because you think I'm a dumb person.
Maybe it's because I just don't
genetically dumb person.
Maybe it's because I just don't give an iota of what people think.
That's crazy, man. Because I mean, something similar like that was happening with Genuine. You see that happen the other day?
Yeah.
That was a little bit too much.
That see, like, there, I'm totally on Genuine side. I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm
that.
the same way. Like when I first heard about it, I reached out to a sister about like what help me out. Like I don't want to just be ignorant and just like just say something and then I just look like an idiot.
Right.
So I'm like, let me get some context. She was like, oh well, he said this and that he wouldn't date. I'm like, okay, well I didn't see the video. Right. So I'm like, okay, let me look at the video and then see what he's talking about.
Oh, there's a video to this?
Yeah, there's a video, and I'm looking at it.
This happened in Big Brother.
And then I'm looking at it, and it's like, what did he do that was wrong?
Well, first of all, what the fuck is Genuine doing in the UK?
Oh, it's like Celebrity, Apprentice or whatever.
Then what did he? Then he knew what he was getting.
Well, basically, but he didn't do anything wrong. I'm like, why people are mad at him? I mean,
I saw the video.
I get the him disrespecting the transgender person. That I
don't even think he disrespected him.
Yeah, like if you're saying, well, if he said something derogatory, I get that. Okay, but if he doesn't want to be kissed.
Yeah, he didn't want. Yeah, it's not that he's transphobic. He just refused the advances of a woman. That's all. But he didn't like.
Everyone has a right to do.
Yeah,
like
which last time I checked is okay.
Yeah, a lot of feminists were mad at him, but I mean, that's another story. But he was basically like, that's all he did. Like in the scene. He said, "Hey, I wouldn't do like would you date a trans woman?" He was like, "Well, no, I wouldn't. I would not date a trans woman."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, well, this and that." But
that's transphobic.
And then it was like, "Well, nah, I just honestly."
I didn't say they couldn't live in my neighborhood.
And then there was a scene like he slouched back, and the trans woman like put her arms around him and tried to kiss him, and he just like moved back, like whoa. And then it was like, oh, it's being transphobic.
Wow,
but
that's bold.
It's so hypocritical though, because it's like, if the roles were reversed, and if like let's say if I was to like just grab a woman and try to kiss her or something like that, then it's a Me Too story. It's rape culture. It's reason number 745 why black men are trash and all this stuff. And then it's like, but hey, he didn't do anything wrong. He just turned down. Everyone has a right to turn down advances.
Yeah,
And from the video, he was. Sexually harassed too.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, she grabbed him.
I don't think we're still in the realm now of men being sexually harassed.
Yeah, but it happens.
Because Terry Crews, from his encounter, he got sexually harassed.
Yes,
there's no ifs, ands, or but about that.
Yeah, totally.
But he's still getting.
He wasn't. No, he wasn't harassed. He was assaulted.
Oh, he was assaulted. Yeah,
straight up. He was assaulted.
It happens to men. It happens to men.
It does happen to men. Yeah. And especially like that's one thing I never understood about men in general. It's just this when something like that happens, the first thing as a man you do is nobody better ever know this ever happened. That's the first immediate reaction.
Well, yeah, it's because men,
it's embarrassing.
Well,
I do get it.
Genetically, men are predisposed to keep everything bottled within. It has to, they can't let emotion flow out. You know what I mean? It's just that's how it is. That's how we're genetically built.
Well, yeah, that comes from the days of just we can't make a sound, and can't make a face, can't do any. We have to be poker face because we're hunting. You know what I'm saying? It comes from those days like that. Yeah, you're right. We still carry that trace, genetic code.
Yeah, it's the same way that every man is the hunter and gatherer. It's like they're genetically disposed to be that type of person.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like we're just in a world now where it's just like people just want to be outraged and they want to find something to be mad at. Like, Genuine, and he didn't do nothing. Like, if he would have said something like, "Man, kill all these, gay people."
Yeah,
like
that's
then
what
it's
I'm
like,
saying.
Okay, all right, well, I understand.
He didn't say anything
negative.
negative.
He just said, "Hey, I just wouldn't date one." That's like me. Like, I'm not into Asian women. Doesn't mean I hate them. I'm just not into them.
Oh, Jesus,
that's
the
a
Asian one
bold-faced
about
lie.
to come.
Everybody's an Asian woman.
He's going to come outside 15 a.m. What are you talking about?
Yeah. It's like, fuck you, Emmanuel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But it's just everyone has a right to like what they want to like. And, there's been anything negative about it. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it's just the way society is going. And, it's like, what's the next thing people are going to be mad at next? It's like, I don't even know what to say.
There was one thing that a friend of mine who I find to be very insightful. He's actually had like encounters with police where, I mean, mind you, he's the director for a pharmacy at Cleveland Clinic. We're actually going to have him on the show in February because we're going to talk about opioids and how that's affecting communities as well. But he had a very good notion where it's like, you think this is surprising? What with Trump? What's going on with Trump, for example? He believes that that one day Trump will just say the N-word live on TV, and No one would really like. People would be enough,
but still
shit would still go as every day.
Yeah.
And
at this point, like, what else can he say?
You know what I'm saying? Because people were like outraged, and I was like, "You think that's bad?"
So that's what I'm saying. So
wait till what comes.
You know, it was one of those things. It's like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was one of those people that I was just like, he ain't gonna win. He's not gonna win. You can't vote for a guy like that. You know, but that's because I didn't take into account to look past beyond the people around me and what quote unquote America was feeling at the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the last thing they wanted was somebody like Hillary Clinton, which was another politician. You know.
I mean, at the end of the day, they're all politicians.
Yeah, but
just pick your poison.
This dude happened to fall into it. You understand that he wasn't technically supposed to get the job as far as he was concerned.
Have you heard of the book that recently came out of the guy following Trump through the whole campaign? So in the book, they said that when he won, Melania was crying and people were just shocked, and he was fucking like literally beside himself because they didn't think he was gonna win. They thought, "Oh, I'm gonna lose in the finals of this shit." And I'm gonna
the finals,
yeah, because to him it's not a fucking election; it's the finals of the NBA at this point. But you know, he won, and he didn't know what to. I mean, look at his face after he talked to Obama. It's like he like Obama told him the secrets, and he just didn't know how to handle it. He was like, "What the fuck did I get myself into? I just want to fucking go home."
It's like something that just went too far.
Yeah,
but I mean, I don't know. I mean, Trump. I mean, it. To me, I feel as if that whole time it was just like, you know what, he's exposing like what America is, you know, and it was kind of like inevitable. And then people be like, oh, like he's not gonna win the second term. Chances are he might.
He might, yeah.
You know, his fan base is like
who's gonna beat him?
We don't even know who's in the next candidate
right now. Yeah, you ain't
but,
got nobody.
I mean,
right
but besides Trump, I mean, you know, it's like it's 2018. And then it's like there's the primary years and it's a primary election. So I always tell people like, you know, yeah, like don't just look at Trump, don't just look at Hillary, just look at who's your elected officials. Yeah. Too many people oftentimes will like talk about Trump and Hillary, but then they don't even know like, okay, like who serves on their commission. Like they don't even know about like their city budgets and how much funds get allocated over here and this, that, and the third. And then they wonder why they're so fucked up. It's like, well, true. You don't know your budget. You're not there. Like, you're not asking these questions. Like,
I'll be honest with you. I don't.
A lot of people don't.
They didn't know about that Ryan Moore dude who was about to.
Ray Moore.
Ray Moore, remember him? Mm-hmm. And how they found out he was just like a sexual molester.
Yeah,
like, they didn't even know.
Yeah, like it's crazy.
You don't know your politicians like you think you do.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people like, man, just get involved. You know, that's all. If I can say anything, just get involved. Talk to your neighbor. Just do something productive and understand politics. Like me, it may seem like I like politics. I talk about this shit all the time, but honestly, like I do not like politics. I hate it. This shit is annoying. It's
imagine. Are you kidding me? It's a dirty game that you have to. They have to do commentary on every single day. It sucks.
You're compromising yourself. You're not being authentic. You know, you say things because a lot of times you can't even say things because the people who are funding your campaign got a stranglehold on you. Yeah. So it's like I don't like it, but at the same time, it's like it's part of our everyday life. It's like everything in our world revolves either around politics, economics, and it's like, damn, I got to know this stuff. You know?
Like who would be the guy? Who would be the guy to change it all?
No,
that's the thing. That's the biggest misconception.
But there has to be a guy. At the end of the tunnel, there has to be somebody.
I'm sure there could be somebody to rally behind, but it takes a nation.
Or if the person's not here now, it's like who could it? That person would have to be what?
I think you have to destroy the whole system. To be honest with you,
just build it all back up.
Maybe it'd have to be somebody who like not somewhat of like Trump, where he has his own money. Well, he doesn't really have money, but like where he doesn't have to respond to lobbyists and everything. Because the lobbyists play a humongous role in this shit.
Yeah, I think for this country, it's like destroy and rebuild, and that's that. And I don't want to sound too crazy and too like an anarchist, but like society, like this country is so corrupt. Like I don't really think there's any ways. It's like you're gonna take a president to come in and change everything. I think it's gonna be like a destroy, rebuild. some kind of like a la Cuban Revolution, Haitian Revolution type stuff.
It's gonna be some craziness.
We're gonna blow each other up.
Yeah, like you just gotta,
we're gonna
like,
have the purge,
cleanse,
motherfucker.
You know?
That's what's gonna happen.
The same way you know people's body needs to detox and they cleanse themselves. That's what America needs to do.
Oh shit, the purge.
You know,
we're like 2 years away from the purge.
Well,
I'm telling you,
sometimes like we need that. I mean, revolutions.
Sometimes we need that. We need that sometimes.
Revolutions are needed.
Some people need to die sometimes.
That's what happens. People need to die sometimes. That's just being real. Like, like you look at it. Like, look at history. Like, I love history. Like it's real talk. People got to die sometimes, and that's the way. That's the way we got to make change. Look at
we talked about it. We thought it over.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but y'all gotta go.
Look at the French Revolution. Same thing. It was bloody.
Look
at the Chinese Revolution. Look at the Haitian Revolution. The Cuban Revolution.
Look at the recent wars we've had. Vietnam.
Look at how this country gained its independence. Shoot, it was a bloodbath over what tea taxes.
Yeah.
Like, you know, at the end of the day, it's like we gotta have.
We came in by this shipyard, and murdered Native Americans for this land,
and enslaved Africans,
on top of that.
I mean, so when people say like, "Yo,
is America has to go down as one of probably the worst, ethically."
Are you kidding me?
They have to be.
Oh yeah,
who's done worse?
England.
But I mean,
period. Done. What else? What else are you gonna say?
I mean, kind of in bed together.
Yeah,
what else are you gonna say?
Like starting to get tied.
No, but see, here's the thing. I don't know. I am one of the few people.
Have they enslaved a whole civilization?
Yes, many times over. What are you talking about?
I mean, England is playing involved in imperialism. I mean, but that's like the English, the French, Israel.
They're so bad. They
Spain.
spawned off other imperialist nations like the U.S.
But they're all in bed together. You know,
yeah, of course. You know, they all. There's a network, somewhat. I would assume, you know, where these people talk. You know what I'm saying? But you know, when you look at it in the grand scheme, when you look at us as a nation, how long we've been a nation, a proper country. Okay, we were just a colony for the longest time. But when we actually decided to become a proper country. Okay, it took 90 years from inception to actually recognize everybody that's in the country as citizens. All right, so second class. You know, second class. So
there's
what I'm saying
Bubba's
is,
listening to shit.
What I'm saying in the aspect of, you know, they're no longer property. Now they're considered people. They actually looked at them as human beings for once in the eyes of the law. Oh my God, I know it took 90 years, but hey.
Oh, I mean, we still have some type of slavery with like debt slavery.
Oh, there is modern day slavery. I'm not denying that. But what I'm saying is that we've only been a proper country 240 years, 250 years,
something like that.
Yes,
okay.
200 about to be 250.
England's been England for thousands of years. Okay, it's the old world. We're part of the new world. Remember?
Did England break apart from like what? What did they break?
It was
apart?
the European Union.
The European
That was
Union.
Brexit.
Okay.
Yeah. They've been around for fucking ever. Okay, so when you look, we're technically like a 20-year-old. As far as the ages of the world go, in the countries, that's how I see it, at least.
250 years is a very small time.
We're still shithead. We just got out of being teenagers not too long ago. As far as a country goes, you know, we're barely making sense here. We just elected a fucking reality show host as president.
We're doing it in style.
We're that 21-year-old right now that's like, I'm gonna take this credit card to pay for my student loans because they're gonna give me free financing for 6 months. And that job at the pizza delivery job is just going so well, you know.
I mean, look at education. Is it dumb of me to think that education just doesn't matter anymore if they're going to charge that much money?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're trying to go to school to be like, I'm not trying to tell people, hey, you know, don't go to school.
If you want to go to school, go to school. But know that you're going to forever have that debt.
Just know what are you going to school for? I mean, like, if you're a creative person, I mean, there's money to be made everywhere. I mean, if you like to do film, media, you can just invest into your own stuff.
Well, back in the day, you know, in high school, like my father used to tell me that when he went to high school, they used to have classes for trade.
Yeah.
Now we don't. We don't have anything like that. Like they used to have thing where they like wood shop, like where they really teach you how to build shit. Now it's just like just cut that piece of wood, kid. Like whatever.
I was part of one of the last wood shop classes. in Broward County.
Yeah.
I was like one of 3 schools.
Do they not have that anymore? Is that like fully gone?
It's completely discontinued.
That's just stupid.
They
completely discontinued it.
They took away the cultural, the arts, the music, and everything. I remember playing the xylophone when I was a kid. You know, in
there used to be classes for video. They used to teach you how to use the VCR for different functions. Like if you want to put up a projection and TV and all that, they used to have classes like that. I remember when I went to middle school, they used to teach us shit like that. Now it's just like, just go to class. The teacher's going to do the best she can to teach you shit with the limited resources she has, while the fucking superintendent makes a bunch of fucking money.
Yeah, you know, retarded. But it's, I mean, we can sit here and talk
Don't go to school. I'm going to say it. Don't go to school. Break down the walls. Don't go to school.
Just know what you're going to school for and then
fucking learn that shit on YouTube.
For you. Like me, when I was going to Full Sail, I honestly dropped out because I'm like, I'm not going to have $80,000 of debt to my name where I could just go to Best Buy or Amazon and, you know, invest into some cameras and some equipment and learn this stuff on my own.
That's recently what I did. I was going to school for biomedical engineering because I wanted to learn how synthetic works with humans. You know what I mean? Like if we can, basically, my fantasy was to make a human robot out of synthetic, a real shit. That was like my end all dream.
An AI.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But it's like, okay, I'm gonna go to school for a field that they only have two really successful companies that do it, and they're full to the brim with those guys. That field is really not there yet. We're not in that spectrum of technology for there to be just a bunch of biomedical engineers trying to fucking make something. So I'm like, I'm gonna do my master's and get fucking $100,000 in debt, and I'm gonna be making still $40,000 a year.
You know, yeah. I mean, education, you know, within the last 20, 25 years, you know, has basically been proven that unless you're, you know, going for like, you know, recession-proof jobs, your carpenters, your electricians, your accountants, you know, all those type of gigs, you pretty much either gotta strike it rich, have some sort of crazy-ass fucking talent that you can bank on, or just pray to fucking God that you actually hit the lotto for once.
Look at the nurse field. There's more nurses now than when the boom happened 30 years ago, 40 years ago, when everybody was trying to. Now everybody's trying to become a medical assistant, a nurse, and there's just so many. It's just
down here,
everywhere.
No, down here,
everywhere in New York.
Here, bro.
My aunt, she works for NYU, and she works for the radiology department. Medical assistant there's waiting lists by like 2 years. Like you have to basically, if you're in a sophomore, you have to start applying as a sophomore, because if you apply as a senior, you're gonna have to wait until you're like 20.
Oh, damn.
That's how long it is. And we're even worse.
True.
You know what I'm saying? We're like the capital of that shit. Because we have hospice up in this bitch with all the old people that we have. So, like, there's just medical assistant. Like, so fields like that are just like the recession fields are filled with just loads of people ready.
True.
To the point where now no one's making anything, you know?
See, down here it makes sense that there's a bunch of nurses and stuff like that down here, because this is America's waiting room. Yeah, exactly. People come here to die. You know what I'm saying? The big, you know what the biggest funding as far as medical goes? Why a lot of people like they're turning into like phlebotomists and stuff like that is because apparently now apparently on top of prisons, which is synonymous with Florida, Florida is becoming like a haven for pain management centers.
Oh, of course.
Do you know what pain management centers are?
Oh, they just stick you with opioids.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's just dope.
Vicodin,
it's just dope fiends. It's just dope fiends coming over to hop on methadone to try to wean themselves out of dope.
You know, when I took my teeth out, like my wisdom teeth, they gave me 3 bottles of Vicodin. What am I going to do with 3 bottles of Vicodin? One fucking half a pill will knock you the fuck out.
Yeah.
They gave me 20 in each bottle. I could have fucking started selling some shit. Damn. I could have been the kingpin.
The kingpin. You know what I mean?
Like they just throw fucking drugs at you now. That's what it is. They just throw drugs at you.
I don't know.
Some of these, when I was a medical student, and they would have people come in, it would just be like loads of people just drugged up. Like these old people, like fucking 16 different pills they're taking. It's ridiculous.
Oh, it's creepy. It's creepy how many pills some people have to take sometimes.
Let's get off this goddamn subject. I'm depressed.
So
man.
Now, let's go back to something fucking positive for once.
Dragon Ball. You like Dragon Ball? You like Dragon Ball Super too?
Man, I love Dragon Ball Super, man. I'm waiting to see what's going on with this.
So are you a Z fan too?
I think Super is actually better than Z.
I've been kind of saying that for a while.
I think Super is actually better than. I think Super's storyline is like it's more cohesive and it's a lot better than Z.
There's so many fanboys now cursing you out.
Hey, man,
comments.
I'm sorry. I love the Android saga.
That motherfucker don't know what the
I love the Frieza saga, but it's like, I mean, Super is just like this the Tournament of Power and the Goku Black.
It's dope.
Is just like phenomenal. Like,
it felt like they were growing up.
That Goku Black series, like
that was the best saga, and to me, from Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Z.
I love how they gave Trunks, the ending.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. The fact that they tie in the Z stuff, like they cut to the Z stuff, just shows you how shitty the art was back in the day. For one,
I don't know. I think the artwork back in the day was its own masterpiece.
It was
good for its time, but what I'm saying is, compared to what we have now, you're like, holy shit, that's like construction paper, But when they cut to the old stuff, like if you were a fan that actually watched that back in the day, like you watched it in real time when it was coming week to week, it's so gratifying because you're like, I remember that. I remember when they did that. Yeah. I remember watching that shit.
Yeah, there's been a lot of nostalgia with Super. I've been just watching it.
I mean, it's just the character development. I mean, like from when it started. I mean, when the Battle of Gods film was out, it was just like, oh shit! Like,
who thought that would have started it?
Man,
I thought it was just going to be a movie.
Yeah, like that's when I seen it, I'm like, damn. Well, okay, and then they did the show, and then it was just like, okay, it was just real dope.
The story of it is the Akira Toriyama. Akira. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is it Akira? Or I thought it was.
That's who the anime is named after.
I just say Akira.
I always say Akira.
Right, everybody Toriyama. Says right because in the English language the accent would be.
Have you ever seen Akira the movie?
Akira the movie?
Yeah.
No. You mean a movie about him?
No. It's a famous movie called Akira. It's about a boy in a dystopian, futuristic Neo Tokyo. And it just has to do with
it came out in the 80s.
Yeah, it was like that movie was in its time much more advanced. So it's like it started the big wave.
It looks like it. Honestly, when you look at it, if you ever watch it, it's one of those things where you look at it and you're like, so this was made 2 years ago, and when you actually research it, it was made in 1986.
Yeah.
But the animation and the filmography and everything on it, the way that it looked, the hue that it was in, it was completely.
I think Lupe Fiasco. What was his last album? Something Tetsuo. It was based off
Tetsuo and Youth.
That's based off Tetsuo's the main character in Akira.
Oh wow.
It was based off of that.
I mean, okay.
No, go ahead.
No, my bad. I was gonna say, yeah, Super is just what's it called now? The Tournament of the Power, the Universal Tournament
of Power.
And I just started that one, but go ahead. Please,
yeah,
go right ahead.
I mean, I don't want to spoil it.
No, go right ahead. It's fine. It's fine, really. I'm gonna watch it anyway.
It's interesting to see. Vegeta's about to transcend past Blue.
Hey, I can't wait to see that. So you're caught up.
I'm caught up. Okay. I'm caught up to it. I mean, Jiren gave him the SmackDown the other day, but I mean, I kind of think the way it's gonna end. I kind of feel as if this is my prediction. I kind of feel as if that Goku and Jiren are going to they're going to take each other out.
You think so?
And then I kind of feel as if it's either going to be on Gohan or on Frieza. That's just kind of where I see things going.
Yeah, it's weird what Frieza's role is playing in this. What is he plotting?
See, this is interesting to me because since I'm not up there yet, like I said, I just started the All Universe tournament. I guess that's the Tournament of Power.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to now that you guys are on the tail end of it, it's so they've narrowed it down to those guys. Yeah, because
where are they at now? They're
crazy.
There's 8 minutes before it ends now.
Yeah, about 8 minutes. I mean, it's only a few people, but Dragon Ball, that 8 minutes is gonna be 10 episodes.
Yeah, it's finally down to the 2 universes, and I think it took 29 episodes, 30 maybe.
Damn! Oh, that's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's
gonna be.
This
great.
Jiren character just plays he's like a wild card because
he's this the one above all.
He has no form. He doesn't transform. It's just he has this like vibe to him. Like he just
whips ass. That's it.
I mean, the first fight he had with Goku, beat the shit out of him.
It's not even like he's a bad guy either. He's
just a dude.
He's just a dude that just like kicks ass.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
I feel like that's Superman. That's like, this is our version of Superman versus Goku.
So he has to have a kryptonite.
Probably it's Vegeta.
Probably, but I mean, we'll see. I mean, because he gave Vegeta that work last episode.
They said that the main artist doesn't like Vegeta. That's the reason why he's never like flourished.
Or he was close in Resurrection when he was about to kill Frieza, and then
Well, now it's a different guy doing that.
It was someone else that did that.
Yeah. So what happened was there was this kid, I forgot his name, but he would always draw to Toriyama for years since he was a kid. Mm-hmm. When he grew up, he actually did his own side series where it was the ending of GT, where like he explained that he ended up becoming the dragon, and he went to the dragon realm. That's why he couldn't come back, because Shenron needed to he needed to enter Goku and gain power. In 100 years, he'd be able to return.
Right.
So, this Super Saiyan, this other Super Saiyan from what's it called? From the far universe came with Frieza's mother. Come to find out, Frieza's mother was alive, and she's one of the most powerful beings in the universe. And she actually gave birth to a Saiyan kid off of Goku's DNA that she found just floating in space.
Is that a Dragon Ball AF?
Yeah, Dragon Ball AF.
Yeah.
You've heard of that
I've
one?
heard about that.
So the guy who did that got handpicked to do Super.
Wow.
He said, this guy knows Dragon Ball in and out. I choose this guy to be my successor. So that guy's doing it.
That's interesting.
That's why it's so different. This guy actually likes Vegeta, and that's why Vegeta's character is starting to change. It's starting to grow. Because if you notice, did you notice when Goku transformed for the first time into Ultra Instinct? Did you notice that Vegeta didn't get upset?
Yeah, he was just like...
He was very calm and collected.
Like he knew.
Yeah.
So... yeah, you're right.
He's growing. He's like... They're trying to transform his character into something different. I wouldn't mind if Vegeta wins the whole thing for them, and it's just,
I'd actually be happy. He's actually one of my favorites.
Yeah,
that'd be a great way to.
I've always been. I always felt guilty for being a Vegeta support for having like.
And why
Vegeta
not make him
Goku.
one of the strongest? He is the Prince of all Saiyans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, Goku was when it came to power level, he is as smaller. It's just that he has more potential, maybe.
Yeah.
Or he's able to gain that power easily.
Yeah.
Than Vegeta, but why not make Vegeta the strongest?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see nothing wrong with that shit.
No, man. I fucking love that.
Remember what time when Gohan was the strongest?
Yeah.
Piccolo was the strongest.
And they ruined it by making him Great Saiyaman.
Oh my god! Don't even start.
That's one. The thing that messed up Z for me was that whole Buu saga. I know a lot of people like the Buu saga, but I honestly did not really like.
A lot of people like the Kid Buu. That's all.
Kid Buu, Kid Buu was cool, but
he was the best thing to come.
I think if Z would have ended like right when Gohan killed Cell and everything. I think it would have been like a great way to pass the baton over, and it would have ended perfectly.
He originally wanted to end it after Goku faced Master Roshi. Imagine if it would have just ended like that. That's what he originally wanted, but they were like, nope, this shit's pumping way too much money. Yeah. You better start drawing, motherfucker.
Yeah, man, that's wild, man. But yeah, I mean, Dragon Ball Z, it's just been. I mean, I love Dragon Ball. I mean, Super. I mean, I think Super is better than Z, but no disrespect, I love Z.
Super, Super.
But I mean,
when did you start watching it?
I watched back in Toonami days. I mean, I know this may sound bad, but Toonami days, man.
Is Toonami back?
I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah,
I know. I heard of it sometimes.
Yeah, man. I remember it was
They're doing a new version. Yeah.
It was Toonami days, when it was like Dragon Ball, it was like Gundam Wing.
Oh man,
that was me. They had
Yu
a pretty good
lineup and all that shit.
Yeah, Johnny Quest.
That's like 01, 02, 03 right there.
Man, people don't know that Johnny Quest. That was serious, man.
That's where I first found out about Cowboy Bebop.
Oh man, Cowboy, that's a classic right there too. We only had one season though.
Yeah,
they only just a short story. One season.
Yeah, man.
They had like a couple movies that came out.
Yeah.
But it never tied into the story.
Cowboy Bebop's one of the best animes as well. Cowboy Bebop.
Samurai
Jack was cool.
Yeah.
That was when Cartoon Network was, they were pushing out some great content.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they did.
Oh, what,
and then there was that theory that Samurai Jack and the dude from the Powerpuff Girls. Like
the father.
Person.
Yeah, I heard about that theory.
Alike,
it's true. They do. They think it's a dystopian time where the Powerpuff Girls died.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Yeah, the new one was dope.
Stuff like that on YouTube, like cartoon theories and shit like that.
Have you ever heard of the one with the Rugrats?
Yeah, the Rugrats with
where like they're all
like Tommy's like it looks like born like a stillborn baby and shit
like that. Sure will fuck up your childhood, bro. You don't want to watch shit like that.
The one I remember is in Adventure Time. I don't know if you guys ever seen that one.
Oh yeah.
In Adventure Time, it's the world. It's the imagination of a child after the Earth went through a nuclear fallout.
Yeah.
Because at one point they show the Earth and half the Earth is missing and there's like a rocket sticking out of it or something like that, and then they cut to back to them or whatever. And so they're saying in that world, something big happened where half the Earth got destroyed. And now this kid is just like, it's just a coping mechanism that this kid uses.
Have you ever heard of the Pokemon one?
Where Ash being in a coma?
Ash in a coma?
Yeah.
And all of it is just a dream?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
And then what's the Ed?
Yeah, you never heard that one?
Damn. And then what's the one with Ed and Eddie? Where they're in purgatory.
Yeah, they're all in purgatory.
Yeah, they're all in purgatory.
Awaiting hell.
Yeah. Each of them die. Like, you'll watch it late night, you'll be like, what the fuck am I watching?
What was the one, the Hey Arnold one?
Oh, there was a Hey Arnold one, too.
Which one was it?
I think the one I heard for Hey Arnold was like...
Yeah.
Was like, the show is really like, Helga's like the main character. That's the one I heard. But there's another one, too.
Where I think she's like schizophrenic or some shit, and just everything is just Arnold's head is really just a football. That's why he looks like that. She's just like looking at a football. And
then there's the what's the name of that one show, man? It was weird. It was like
Winnie the
Dog. It was like a weird,
was...
creepy show on Cartoon Network.
Oh, Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah, that he had.
I never watched that one as a kid.
Man, that shit was scary, boy. Like, man,
it was. They had a theory. They had a theory for that.
Stuff. Like,
I think it was. This theory was for Courage. I forgot what it was, but it had something to do with a illness.
A mental illness. Isn't it that like the old man has Alzheimer's or something like that?
That's why it's just crazy episodes.
It's not
it's crazy.
It's not that there's real monsters. It's just the guys having episodes.
They had the Winnie the Pooh one.
What's the Winnie the Pooh one?
That each character represents a form of mental illness.
Oh, okay.
Tigger is obviously ADHD.
What's Winnie? What's Pooh?
Pooh is
depression.
No. Depression is fucking.
Oh, sloth.
Sloth.
Sloth is depression.
Pooh is what is it? What is the thing? Overeating.
Gluttony.
No, not glutton. That's fucking Full Metal Alchemist, you idiot.
No, I'm not even thinking about that. I was thinking about the sin, gluttony.
No, I'm thinking about there's a mental illness when you overeat based off depression. I forgot what it's called.
Oh, stress eating. Emotional eating.
Emotion. That's what he is, basically. Because he's always eating honey.
He's
always eating honey. You know what I'm saying? Igor's depression. Igor's depression.
Oh, sloth. I said sloth.
So yeah, it could be sleep apnea.
Damn.
And then the one that always worries, he has
paranoia.
Paranoia, and then it all ties in. Yeah, it all ties into the kid having schizophrenia. So that's why he has these multiple disorders.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It's some crazy shit, bro.
Why would you just destroy that?
There's all kind of stuff that people don't know about. Like, I mean,
the biggest mind blower, the Pixar theory.
But it's all in the same
connected.
All in the same universe.
But it is all in the same universe.
Yeah, they never confirmed it.
No, they did.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, good. It probably is too much.
Well, yeah, like it's the same thing with like Genndy Tartakovsky stuff. Like everything is all connected.
All connected.
So the Powerpuff Girls, Samurai Jack, Dexter's Laboratory, all that shit.
Dexter's Laboratory.
That's Genndy Tartakovsky.
Yeah, they used to do that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Genndy Tartakovsky.
Yeah, they did that at one point. What? They did something on Nickelodeon, yeah.
What?
It was Jimmy Neutron.
They did the one with Wild Thornberrys.
Oh, yeah, it was a Fairly Odd Parents. Yeah, they did one with, it was Fairly Odd Parents and Jimmy Neutron. Remember that shit?
They did one with Wild Thornberrys, too, on Nickelodeon.
Did they?
It was, Rugrats. Rugrats and Wild Thornberrys.
Yeah, I remember that. God damn, y'all got good memory. Shit.
I wasn't a Nickelodeon kid.
I was an everything kid.
I was both.
The most I ever watched Nickelodeon was Doug.
Yeah, oh, goodness.
Doug was cool, but Doug was like look. I love Doug, like, but it's like dude was such a
those
simp,
names were
man.
hilarious though. Patty Mayonnaise,
Yeah.
Skeeter.
Oh yeah, Skeeter. I said Skeet. Yeah,
Skeeter Valentine.
You know, but like I used to. I love.
Skeeter's a Jamaican name.
I don't even know.
Skeeter's a Jamaican name?
I have a Jamaican aunt that's named Skeeter.
I've known some really
Jamaican
hardcore
aunt?
redneck dudes named Skeeter.
Well, their family is like my family. I grew up with them.
Nah, I mean, yeah, like Doug was cool, but he was like such a simp, you know. Like looking back, I'm like, bro, like this man never just took the courage to.
He was lame.
He was.
And then, yeah, but it's like,
but he was
bro.
he was a great character for that time.
Yeah, but then it was like, I mean, but I always loved Hey Arnold though. Hey Arnold.
Oh
was
yeah,
my
Hey
favorite.
Arnold was a shit.
Hey Arnold was just classic, man. And then it was like a show that you can still watch it as an adult.
Oh yeah.
You know, like what's the one episode with the pigeon man or the bird man or whatever?
Oh, that's a great episode.
Like
I remember that one.
That was a real ass episode, man.
That's what cartoons used to get.
They
to
had
you.
messages
you know
on
what I'm
there,
saying?
man. We had that one with the pigeon bird man or whatever.
Yeah,
You know where it all fell wrong? SpongeBob.
SpongeBob went crazy.
Because SpongeBob was just episodes of nothingness.
Yeah, it had a large following though.
Never got into SpongeBob either.
I never got into SpongeBob.
Don't get me wrong. I watched the first season, and it was funny. But it's just, after a while, it's the Family Guy effect. Every episode is just some stupid shit that's going on.
True.
You know what I'm saying? It's just SpongeBob is very cartoonish. You know what I'm saying? Very PG.
Did you guys ever get a chance to hear about that new Netflix anime that came out?
Well, the one from Jaden Smith?
No, it's the Devil something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Devil Cry Baby?
Yeah, I watched like 3 episodes. Like, that shit was just weird as
I
fuck.
knew that shit was going to be dope when I read the manga.
It's dope. Like,
I'm glad
I have
Netflix
to
picked
read
it up.
into it, but that shit was like weird. Like, I didn't know what was going on. There was like a sex scene, and then like the lady, like, she like transformed it and like chopped the body off.
So here's the rule of thumb when it comes to anime: if you want to see even better of it, read the manga, because the manga doesn't.
Yeah, I've always heard the manga. Yeah,
like Dragon Ball Z manga, people used to bro. In the manga, half of Vegeta's face got fucking blown off when he fought Goku. They didn't do that in the anime.
Yeah,
like they only do the shit like that in the manga. They don't. Japan don't give a fuck, man. Japan put whatever they want. Yeah,
it's great. It's always better to go with the books when it comes to the anime.
Of course,
stuff.
like,
I think that's a rule of thumb when it comes to anything. Go with the book.
But like movies too. Like books is always, you know, like
the Hunger Games book, way better than the Hunger Games movie. Harry Potter, yeah. Oh my god.
Even like.
Do kids have something now like how we did, like a Harry Potter? What do they have now?
Hunger Games, Twilight. Twilight was a big one.
Jesus Christ,
that was like 10 years ago now. Was it?
Yeah, well, it's getting there.
How old were we when Twilight came out? 10 years ago, I was 17.
Yeah, I was 21.
Yeah. That's still our generation. Yeah, that's still our generation. I say out of our generation is when we're 21.
Yeah.
I don't know what people are watching now. I mean,
I know that Maze Runner one is a big one.
The Maze Runner, those books, I haven't read those. I guess you can consider those.
I'm out of touch with video games, man. I don't even know what people are playing now either.
Oh man, what do you play
Overwatch?
Right now?
I know is the big one right now.
Overwatch,
yeah.
Overwatch is you know how Black Ops changed the game. Overwatch is now doing that.
What about Okay, so let me ask y'all, like, so is Destiny 2 popping still?
Ooh, Destiny 2's killing. I got that shit.
Okay.
Yeah, Destiny 2. You know what Destiny 2 is doing? They're making people actually interact with people online. You know how it was so hard for you to, like, if you didn't have friends, you just play by yourself? Or even if you're online, you just couldn't, like, message the guy you played online because that'd be, hey, do you want to play? Like, it'd be weird. You know, you're just messaging the guy randomly. Destiny 2 is based on you having to be within a group to actually beat the game. So people go on these community chat rooms now, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to play?" And it's like it's just opening this door for everybody to communicate and, like, you know, play video games together. So that's what they're doing.
Man, shout out to Bungie, man.
Yeah, Bungie always does some good shit.
Bungie's always been doing something. It hurt my heart because I was like a huge Microsoft guy, you know, back in the day. And then when I heard about the Bungie Microsoft split, I was just like,
Microsoft didn't want to pay him.
Yeah, but I heard they didn't want to pay him, and they just only wanted him to do Halo.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Was that what it was? They only wanted to do Halo.
Yeah.
Microsoft didn't do a lot of good things when Xbox One was first coming out.
Yeah, like Bungie came to them like, listen, so we got this game. It's called Destiny. You can do all this in it.
They're like, nah.
Right? And it was just like, yeah, that's cool. So about this new Halo.
Halo 5 coming out soon?
Yeah, so what's up with Halo 5?
They still coming out with Halos too.
Like, yeah, but Halo's felt to me. Halo's like not even.
I was never into Halo.
What?
Nope.
I love Halo, bro.
Halo
was the game to start me in multiplayer.
First person, I was never a first person. I was always a third person guy.
I used to go to
Gears of War all day.
I think Halo's the one that started that shit, right?
I mean, Gears is cool, but the thing is with Halo is like, to me, it was always like a more wow factor. I mean, I played a lot of
You hear the music in the background? Oh,
yeah. I used to play a lot of MLG tournaments, man. I used to go like to LAN parties.
Yeah.
I was real deal like super competitive about Halo. And like I used to go to like the tournaments. I knew about like the BXR, BXB.
I never played a Halo tournament. I was into sports games.
So how long were you? How long were you playing like tournaments and stuff?
How long? I mean, I did I did a few, like 4 or 5 of them. I don't know. You remember Flippers?
Flippers.
It's on Taft Street.
Yeah.
On Taft
I was thinking
Street.
Miami.
Yeah, you know Remember Flippers? And then they had the little tournaments. Yeah, they had like one like movie theater where they turned into like a game room, like a LAN room.
Oh shit!
You know they got a couple places like that opening up by Dixie Highway.
Dixie and where?
I forgot where.
Pompano or
there's one place called 10th Cavern, 10th Level Cavern. You go there, they have in every bar stool they have a TV where there's retro games, and every weekend they have FIFA tournaments, NBA tournaments. What's that fucking game? Injustice tournaments. Street Fighter, whatever. They're a gaming bar, so you can go there, have a good drink, play some video games.
You know what was my shit, man? My favorite video game of all time. Yeah, that's Super Smash Brothers Melee.
Oh man,
dog.
Bro, have you ever seen professionals play that shit?
Oh yeah, the L dash wave canceling.
No, it's like a literal you can put that on TV and that would be fucking entertaining as fuck, bro. I literally saw one video where they fell off. And it was 2 Starfighter. I don't know if you ever saw that video.
Oh yeah,
they fall off and they go underneath and they're just floating because they're doing this dash move where they're just departing and boom,
wave
coming
dash.
Right back, and they're just coming until one person just flies. For like 2 minutes, they're just staying like that. They're like fuck the ring.
There's been times like where I would be on YouTube and I would just watch Super Smash Brother Melee like tournaments like I don't know if you ever know. I don't know how deep you guys were like into fighting games, but like you've ever heard of crew battles?
Yeah.
Like Smash Brother crew battles were like
that was heavy with Street Fighter.
Yeah, it's like if you watch like the Apex tournaments and all that, like it is lit. Like them crew battles, and I mean I only did like 1 or 2 my whole time. Cause I was playing like in middle school and whatnot.
True.
And I had more time to play than I did now. But I used to just do like a lot of 1v1 tournaments and everything like that, like locally. Around the neighborhood and stuff like that, and then actually going to like set up a few tournaments for people like outside elsewhere. So this is like before online gaming.
Oh, okay.
So it was like you had to like be on like chat forums and all that. You know,
message
people had to
boards
be
and shit
really
like that.
internet based.
Yeah, like you really had to be involved in it. And then Smash Brothers Melee was that, and then let's talk about like Nintendo like one of the most like revolutionary like mind-blowing games for me was Mario 64.
That was great.
That was great because during that time it was like Mario could only go like like left, right, jump, or like jump moving forward,
right.
And then it was like I remember I was like 7 years old or so like playing Smash Brothers, and then that's D1, shout out D1 right there. He on my Facebook friend, he's a cool dude. I was playing I remember like being 7 years old playing Super Mario 64 and using the joystick the first time using a joystick and then like actually like moving it around. I didn't know what I was doing, and then Mario was like turning and like he would jump and like he would like hit like a side flip and all this kind of stuff. And
that Mario game was classic. The intro screen where it's Mario's fucking head and you can just beat his fucking face.
But did you guys know that like there's like professional Mario 64 players?
Yeah.
Like there's like speedrunners.
That shit is
Like that's something.
That speedrunning shit has gotten real popular recently.
Speed running.
People actually play professionally.
Is where you have a time limit.
Show me.
Oh yeah. They have the world record on YouTube. Like people will beat the game, like get 120 stars in like an hour.
So all right. Oh okay. You mean just going through the entire game in one sitting, like really fast?
Yeah, like really fast, like.
While holding down B the entire time?
Yeah, it's
gotten more popular with these games that are extremely hard. Like the biggest one is Dark Souls, because Dark Souls is quote unquote the hardest game out there, and people that's like Dark Souls. You ever heard of it?
I heard of it.
It's basically like the knight that just battles all these warriors. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the game is extremely hard. Like, let's say you were playing like, you ever played Ninja Gaiden? Or you ever played any of those games where you're just fighting people? Like imagine if the difficulty was Devil May Cry. Imagine if the difficulty was at the hardest from the get go. That's how it is. Yeah, there's no levels to this shit. It's just that's how it is. And if you die, you got to start from basically the beginning. Yeah. Every time.
Oh, you like a Spyro?
Yeah.
Spyro is my game.
Oh, Spyro's the shit back in the day. That's one of the fucking Spyro was one of the fucking characters that never followed with the whole PlayStation movement.
What is Crash Bandicoot?
Crash Bandicoot followed until PS2 and then it fell off.
Yeah.
Then they came. They did like
they
just remastered it.
Yeah, they remastered it for PS4.
They're remastering a lot of the PlayStations, like
the library.
PlayStation.
They have to.
Remember Final Fantasy VII? That was the biggest Final Fantasy at the time. They're remastering that one.
And they're also doing the Nintendo 64 classic or mini, whatever you call it, like the Super Nintendo one. Did they
the SNES?
Because they did the
NES and the SNES.
So now they're doing the 64.
So now they're doing 64.
What games
now?
would you guys want to see on that?
Ooh, GoldenEye for sure.
Banjo-Kazooie was one of my favorites.
I mean, Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo-Kazooie was a good. Banjo-Kazooie was a good
Pokemon Stadium.
Pokemon Stadium. You got to see
the first one. Yeah.
Pokemon Stadium.
I mean, Mario Kart 64. You know that
Diddy Kong Racing.
And Diddy Kong Racing was even better.
Diddy Kong Racing.
Because you were like flying, and then they had like a story.
I wouldn't mind seeing Pokemon Snap on HD.
Yeah,
that was Pokemon Snap was actually a good game.
I didn't really fuck with Pokemon Snap too much, to be honest with you.
Yeah. That shit was dope for whatever reason. That shit was kind of dope.
I remember that last episode with the last one with the last level with Mew and everything.
I think you had to throw an apple at something and then he'd come out.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was
like in the clouds and everything.
It was funny how you learn to because they give you these things, you don't know what to do with them. Yeah, and then after you play it a couple times, you're like, let me just throw it out there, see that, and this fucking Pokemon just pops out. Mm-hmm. Like I used to throw it if you hit like a Magikarp on this one level, Gyarados will pop out. You just gotta time it, you know what I'm saying? Because you gotta hit him to get him mad, and then he transforms.
Sure.
But yeah, Pokemon Snap was one of those old school good games.
Man,
there's been a lot of them.
It's nostalgia. Even just looking at this video, like nostalgia overload. Oh, the Game Boy Color, man.
When Game Boy Color came out, that changed shit, bro. That changed everything.
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon Yellow.
Shoot, I remember. I actually stopped getting into like I remember Pokemon from the first 151 or whatever.
Yeah.
And after that, it was just
that's basically all of us
that's
in our
it.
generation.
Yeah.
You know, and that was it. Like the whole Pokemon card era, all that.
I stopped after.
I was out after that.
I stopped after the when they added the third time around, because they went from 150, then they added another 100, but it was the next time when they added the next one, I was like, nah, I'm good, bro. You added like another 150, I'm like, nah, I'm good. Yu-Gi-Oh, I got Yu-Gi-Oh cards right here, dog.
Yeah, you know,
I still play at Tate's every Tuesday.
I remember my teacher took my Blastoise.
Oh,
the holographic Blastoise. I remember that.
Man.
My teacher took it, and I seen the price for it today. Cause some of these Pokemon cards are like
they're very rare.
Yeah. Some of them cards are going for like 10, 20.
The most, the funny thing, the most expensive card right now is a Magikarp. A holographic Magikarp can literally bag you 50 G's.
Blue Dragon.
Damn,
Blue Eyes. I think I have one.
I think the Blastoise only goes for like 500 or so. I think not that much.
Like the cards that I had back in the day, for Pokemon, it's like I had like Zapdos. I had
Did you guys ever collect sports cards?
I did. I had it's funny. When I was in elementary school, what you did was for every book that you read, when you turned it in as part of the reading list or whatever, you got they gave you like 3 packs of
baseball cards.
Not just not too many baseball cards. It was football cards and basketball cards mostly. So, but I have some pretty fucking sweet cards actually. Like I got like Jerome Bettis.
My dad has
Zach Thomas.
My dad has Michael Jordan holographic. The one when he had the last shot fading away.
Oh, nice.
And that goes for $250. But my dad doesn't want to give it away because $250 is nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
You'd rather keep the card.
Yeah, for $250.
$250. Now, if it's like 10 grand, yeah, that'd be something different.
Right.
Yeah,
It'll probably blow up after like probably when I get old. And then I'm gonna sell that bitch.
Man.
Nah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I used to collect like the old school Miami Heat, like Dan Marley, Tim Hardaway.
Hardaway.
What was his name? PJ Brown. You know, like I had quite a few of those cards and everything.
Yeah.
And,
Digimon?
no, I never got into Digimon. I mean,
I tried to get into Digimon, but it was so I liked it, but it was such a ripoff. But now did you hear that they actually Pokemon took the idea from Digimon? Yeah, it came out that Digimon came out earlier, but they just didn't have the money to do it. And one of them heard about it, and they made Pokemon
co-op.
What?
You know what I'm saying? But then Digimon came out.
Digimon came into the States afterward.
But no one gives a shit now because it's
exactly.
like, you know what I'm saying? Well, Digimon's making a comeback. They got an anime that's like, it's super good. It's actually, so Crunchyroll's having an anime awards, and they're like highlighting, you know, best male character, female character, and all those shits, right? Mm-hmm. And the Digimon show is ranked in the best animated series of the year.
Oh wow,
it's that good because they're older. It's like an adult take on the Digimon now. Yeah.
Like, is there blood and shit?
I haven't seen it.
No,
but I've just heard about it.
Okay,
I got so many fucking animes I'm dealing with right now. I'm waiting for Hero Academia to come out so I can finish watching that shit.
That's a good one.
Dragonball Super has me on the edge of my seat every Saturday.
Yeah, every Saturday I go on YouTube.
I just want this shit to end. Like, I want the fucking.
Yeah, I want to know what's gonna happen. Like, I think it's like there's no way they're gonna get rid of like all these characters that got eliminated, like a hit. And,
yeah, bro. Like, I'm like, yo, what are they doing?
Khalifa or what? No, the two girls, the two women Saiyans. And then,
okay, yeah.
There's so many like Kaba. There's so many dope characters. Like, there's no way it's like.
Like, I know what's gonna happen if Goku wins or Vegeta. They're gonna wish them all back. But I don't know what's gonna happen if that motherfucker Jiren wins. Mm-hmm. Plus, the manga, for whatever reason, I don't know why they're doing this. The Super manga it's much more further behind than the anime, which is very rare because the manga is always way farther ahead. Mm-hmm. But in the manga, they just finished that little small tournament with the 3-on-3. They're just getting into that, but they're giving you like other aspects, like let's put it like this way: everything that you didn't see in Super, they're showing you in the manga. So like whenever Goku's talking to Beerus, oppositely Jiren's talking to the clown guy. They're giving you that conversation. So like you're seeing all this shit happen, and you're like Jiren has this wish. They're already talking about Jiren's wish. They think his like family got like massacred, and that's what he wants to bring back or some shit.
Man,
like,
is there any other animes that you're watching besides Super?
Besides Super, I mean, I know this sounds bad, but like, I mean, Hunter x Hunter.
It's not bad. Hunter x Hunter.
No, it's a good show, but I'm like behind. I'm like season 2.
Well, it's one of those shows where it's just like I'm a One Piece fan, but I'm like 200 episodes behind. I just let that shit go.
Yeah.
For after a while, and I'll just come back to it.
I watched Hunter x Hunter. There's a girl I was talking to, you know, I used to deal with. She was an anime girl, you know, and then she was like watching Hunter x Hunter, and then she got me into it. And to this day, like I still will like watch it, like not consistently, but like
you do
every now and then. Yeah, I watch like, you know what, I'm chilling and watch Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
But usually like that's like late night vibe. So I usually like watch like a lot of TV, but I cut my cable off, so like I usually watch a lot of YouTube.
Yeah.
And you know, it's usually like stuff like what we're watching, like the speed runs, and you know, of course, documentaries. And there's like a lot of like user created content.
Yeah,
It's pretty dope. Like, that's what I love about YouTube. That's what I'm kind of scared about with this FCC situation happening.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to see that for a long time.
Yeah, for some years.
It's going to be. They're going to do it slowly. It's just. Are we going to see it in time? Is the problem. At this point, that's what the problem is.
I'm sure by like summer we'll see some sort of change. Something as far as like we're now instituting something minimal. But it's like, okay.
Well, now that they won, they got to go to the drawing board.
By years end. Well, they still have to go to court to see if it's constitutional.
That's still a long way. We're not going to really see the effects until like 2 or 3 years from now. That's when we're going to see it. Yeah. You know, it's just we don't know what's coming.
I say by year's end they start.
No.
By the end of 2018, they started doing something.
It's still got to go to the court. I think that's like sometime in like later this year.
It's too soon.
I mean, hopefully not. I mean, hopefully it just gets overturned because, internet is like the main source for like entrepreneurship right nowadays, and it's people being creative, and something like that would really impact YouTube heavily. Because YouTube is a source for a lot of people who are making careers out of YouTube, and something like that could just do like huge heavy
governments
damage.
have been overthrown with YouTube.
Yeah.
Throwing when all these remember when there was that like stretch where it seemed like every other week there was another Middle Eastern country going into a revolution. There was that little run for a while for like 6 months.
Well,
or
they're
like
still
a year.
in it. It's just that was the starting point.
Regardless of the fact, but that's around the time when they started, like subsequently after each other.
I remember when they killed Gaddafi.
Yeah,
like
that's
story. Man, that shit was fucked.
Oh yeah, I know
the story about that shit.
I know,
like what he was doing for his people.
Yeah, he was doing a lot of good things.
I remember that quote he said. Somebody said that it was like it was a beautiful Tripoli was just beautiful.
His son about to run.
Yeah. Oh, is he?
Yeah, him too, yeah.
His son? Shit.
I don't know. Sometimes they probably have them bought out. Sometimes it's always be the ones closest to you. I mean, like Gaddafi is like with Patrice Lumumba, and it was also like Thomas Sankara. Like it was like his own best friend was the one that got him wiped out.
Wow.
And going back to Lumumba, it was like his understudy. Like like after he was taken out.
Yeah.
By the Dutch, and was it the Dutch? Damn, I might be wrong. It was I know the U.S. was involved. I think it was the Dutch, and then it was like his own right hand man.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying like Gaddafi's son is gonna be a sellout, but then it's like sometimes it's like they're probably bought out. He's probably not gonna be the same way.
You never know. Yeah.
Well, there's this the new like ruler right now, the new king in Saudi Arabia right now. He's causing some serious changes now.
More beheadings?
No. Actually, very, very positive, progressive changes. Now remember, this is the Middle East.
When I hear you say progressive in Saudi Arabia, I hear that guy's gonna die.
Here's the thing: it's progressive relative to the environment that they're in. What do I mean by that? In Saudi Arabia, for example, women aren't allowed to walk outside without an escort, without a male escort, at all times.
Really?
Women aren't allowed to drive. It's an Islamic state. When you go in there,
I thought they just had to wear hijab.
No. When you go in there as a tourist, you understand that you are a guest in the kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Jeez. Power at its most.
You have to treat it as such. It's more than just take your shoes off at the door type shit. So
I know they don't like
this
affection.
guy. Women weren't allowed. Like I said, weren't allowed to be in public. And if they were, it wasn't in if it was like a male dominated place, for example, like a football soccer stadium over there. Like they're finally allowing women to just be regular citizens and walk the norm. Well, they're now being allowed to drive.
Middle East, there's a lot of sexual abuse going around because women are now being able to walk around freely, and these guys are just fucking abusing them.
Well, yeah, but the one you're referring to mostly that's in India. But there's been a lot of the sexual assault.
Some app started some. It's an app for taxi service over there, and they started some cool thing where it's basically any woman who's registered on that app, because you know how it's if you use Uber, it says if you're a male or female. Basically, if you're a female and somebody's harassing you, there's a help button you can press on there, and the nearest person will come to you and pick you up free of charge.
True.
Just to get you away from that person. That's how they're trying to combat.
That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, they just pick you right the fuck up.
A help me ride.
Mm-hmm. Just to get you out of that situation.
That's kind of cool. But that's also kind of sad that you have to have something like that, huh?
I mean, men are just entering the world of women being around them everywhere over there.
No. They've always been around them. It's just that now they're just choosing to acknowledge them.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Other than just baby machines.
I wish I could have seen what would have happened if fucking Gaddafi had his plan went through with the Goldina.
I'm not
golden currency.
People would have lost. Yeah,
one centered African currency. I mean, it would have wiped out like a lot of European exploit.
Yo, people would have lost their shit. That shit probably would have caused fucking mass. Who knows? People probably could have went crazy in the streets.
Yeah, so as far as you guys are concerned, Gaddafi was like a good thing for his nation?
For his nation, yeah, of course.
I mean, it just goes to show you like how media like plays such like a huge part in everything. Like, because what they were doing was a lot of like funded riots were happening by Western media, and they would just have like, okay, like everything is going fine over here, but like over here in that corner, some people are rioting. And they'll set the cameras and folks on here like, look, this is what's going on in the country. Yeah. But then everyone else over there were just in Libya were like,
yeah, CNN got caught using stock footage of other riots and playing them off as
part of the Libya
riots.
The Libyan
and
riots.
It's kind of like how things is like kind of like with Cuba, you know, it's like with Castro when he was alive. Like, I mean, I'm not saying Castro is the most perfect person. But you know the way Western media plays it, it was like Adolf Hitler or Stalin or one of these people.
It's the same way North Korea does with us.
Castro did like, I mean, I'm not saying he everything he did was more right.
See, on that one I'm gonna have to buck because like he was just as bad as like an Idi Amin or any of his day. You know, I remember as a kid watching the live tribunals, followed by the live shooting ranges where he would have the battalion Riva, Frente, Fuego, and just off people on live television. Okay, it was a public public fucking execution back in the old days.
It was a dictatorship.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is that like he, if you talk to the older generation, the people that came out, in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, Castro's a god to them because at that point it was basically like Jim Crow. It was like the Jim Crow South basically, as far as for black citizens and everything like that before Castro regime. So then comes Castro, where it's like we unite the people. They look to Castro as like he freed us. We went from being second-class citizens to just being citizens.
Right.
So they love Castro. Now, their children hate Castro.
They want to integrate the U.S. Our lifestyle.
They want.
They want to be. It's not even so much as far as bringing U.S. enterprise. It is as much as just being able to enterprise within themselves. You can't sign. A taxi driver in Cuba makes more money than a doctor in Cuba.
Is that true?
Yeah. Yes.
Communism. I think
that's what.
Yeah, everything is
as a doctor, you're getting paid, hypothetically speaking, $125 a month to be a doctor.
Get the fuck out of here.
Okay. As a taxi driver, though, you can make upwards of $300 a week.
What? How is that possible?
Because a taxi driver, if you have a car, which however you rig your car up, you know what I'm saying? You're finding 57 Chevys with Honda Civic engines with an Australian transmission, which means that they have to shift. If you want to go, if you want to shift into first gear, it's not up. It's not from neutral over one. It's over down.
What the fuck?
And then two is up. Not down. You know what I'm saying? And you work your way over here.
But I mean, with Castro, yeah,
you're not able to be entrepreneur. You can find restaurants in Cuba, but you'll find them 9 times out of 10 they're in a residential neighborhood and it's technically somebody's house. So you're going to be drinking out of the Miami Zoo cup while you're drinking out of a red cup and he's drinking out of a green cup. Because it's actually somebody's living room that you're actually dining in.
I think the thing is with Castro is that not Castro, but like Cuba in general, a lot of people also don't look at the relationship that happened with Russia, and when Russia fell, that played a huge part.
Yeah, because Russia was paying the bills.
Yeah, they were funding
everything,
the military, and Cuba was basically helping them with. I
love how everything just revolves around Russia.
That was the thing, though. It wasn't so much that it was like, oh, Russia was giving us aid. They were cutting the check for the entire bill.
Of course, military, and that was a big part.
Military.
Who was the
healthcare, education?
Yeah, who was the president at that time? I forgot. Kennedy, right?
What, for the Bay of Pigs?
Yeah. Or did Kennedy die before that?
No, Kennedy.
No. When did Kennedy die?
63.
And when did that happen?
November 63. Oh, you talking about with Cuba?
Yeah, with Cuba.
The Bay of Pigs was
I think it was May?
before. Yeah, it was right before.
Same year?
I believe so.
Because a lot of people think, Kennedy with his progressiveness.
Oh, Jesus, we can sit here and fucking spend weeks on why.
Was it a magic bullet?
It wasn't.
I mean, yeah, to go back to, like, Cuba, what a lot of people, like, to me, it's kind of like all perspectives on how you see things. Like, you look at, like, a lot of the Cubans here in Miami are offsprings of the Bautista generation.
Yeah. The older,
but then
the older
to, like,
Cubans.
A lot of, like, Afro-Cubans, it's like, it's like, well, Castro was good. Was good to me. I mean, my thing is, like, I look at things like overall everything. Like I said, I don't condone everything he did, but Cuba having such a high literacy rate.
You look at it objectively.
Under him, and them being such like huge influencing figures for the medical half of things. Influencing other countries, like my family's country. Like, we have a school of medicine now, which is basically pretty much, and it's like a big time university, and which was basically influenced from Cuba. And then you also look at things like Castro was doing, like helping liberate Angola, the apartheid regime that he played a part in helping. Apartheid was like such an evil thing, and it was Castro that helped out,
right?
And then also like the Ebola situation, he was willing to help out. He actually wasn't willing to. He actually got Cuban doctors to help that out. And then even like when Hurricane Katrina hit in 2005. Was 2005 when Hurricane Katrina hit, and then he offered to bring help, and then Bush was like, "Nah, y'all can stay over there." So, like I said, he did a lot of great things, but I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna say he's perfect, but I mean, I try to see like everything is for what it is.
The that's what I'm saying. The entirety of it, it's I'm my family's Ecuadorian. I don't have any ties to Cuba per se, but as a Latin man, growing up, my entire life, it's Castro's been synonymous to Cuba in my lifetime. Okay, and I've met people that knew when that wasn't the case, and it went from people being able to do whatever they wanted to do, you know what I'm saying, to now these are the rules, and if you buck and you go step outside of the lines, we'll shoot you.
But what,
quite literally,
did it do Cuba better or worse in the long run?
Economically, it was disastrous to the nation because it went from you being able to have a podcast, okay, and just record and just have people over and record and just do a podcast or whatever. You now can't do that freely.
Right.
This is technically pirate radio, as far as they're concerned. There's no systemized system of telecommunications over there. Okay, there's no proper internet service. You can get internet over there, but you have to have money to have that. Okay, which the lot of it doesn't. I think the unemployment rate is some within the proper local community is somewhere upwards in like the 20 percentile.
Sure.
If you're not employed by the government, you're unemployed. So if you're unemployed, you got to make do. So that's how you get people that are doing restaurants in their houses. That's why you have taxi drivers, making more money than doctors and lawyers in the country. Is why you have things like after I remember I was in college and a guy there, he was talking about his trip to Jamaica that he went, and he was saying that after 7 o'clock, the local police department starts shooing away all the locals to leave the tourists alone from the touristy areas and stuff like that. So all the little, like local kids and just local people that are from the neighborhood are being told either go back to your houses or be arrested or possibly worse because you're not supposed to be here. You're bothering all the people that are spending money.
So that's what they do in Jamaica?
No. In Cuba.
Oh, in Cuba. I was like...
In Cuba.
Tourists.
Because the tourism dollars, it's still it's still big over there. It's huge. It's the lifeblood of the entire country.
Isn't that weird that we're at odds with this country, but yeah, people can just go there?
Well, now we can.
Yeah.
Now we can. It used to be a fucking, like, as far as when you came back, you'd be questioned by the federal government as to why you traveled to Cuba.
Right.
Now you can actually freely travel to Cuba from the U.S. And
it's funny when you mention like the tourist dollars and how like everything is centered around them, and they want to make sure they bend over for the tourists by the policing. And it's funny like this happens over here too. You look at Wynwood, and during like how Art Basel passed by, and everyone may knows like at one point Wynwood was part of Overtown. Mm-hmm. And it's funny now because the same like during that time policing is extra tight. Like, hey, y'all that stay south of 21st,
y'all stay over there.
Y'all stay over there. And if y'all come over here, it's gonna be issues. There's gonna be this extra security. They want to make sure certain folks don't come over there, just to make sure that the tourist dollars is just fine. So it's funny how like there's a lot of parallels in the world going on.
True.
So everything's about tourist dollars in Florida.
Oh, especially in South Florida.
In South Florida, I mean, I was at the NSU Art Museum with a few other people. Like people in the art. Cause I'm kind of like I'm in the art community in Broward County.
Oh, very much so.
And they had like a conference about the economics of art in Broward, and like in 2015, they did not have a report for last year yet. It's coming soon because they do like reports like every other few years.
Uh-huh.
And then it's like in 2015, the budget it was like $414 million was like injected into Broward's economy from art.
Wow.
And like that's everything from like the murals, the sculptures, to people traveling, to people spending at hotels, restaurants, you name it.
Wow.
I mean, at one
Did
point,
you say 14 million?
Fort Lauderdale.
414 million.
At one point, Fort Lauderdale was having like great tourism when I was younger, when we were all younger. But it's not like, remember the pier? When we were like 14, 15? It used to be the spot. You used to take a girl there, just chill out with your homeboys by the beach, the pier. If you want to go fishing, you can go fishing. It's just $2. But now it's just a dead zone over there. Nobody goes. The bars that used to be there have closed up. It's like maybe one or two places. That shit used to be the spot on the weekends.
Well, I know, like Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, they are.
Fort Lauderdale, like in the mid '80s, the mid to late '80s was like the Cancun of the United States. You know what I'm saying? And Daytona Beach was like huge back then. Still is now to this day, actually. But now, if it ain't South Beach, nobody else knows anything else really as far as Florida goes, other than,
I mean, Wynwood is actually taking a lot of the South Beach money.
I would assume so now.
Wynwood is taking South Beach money. Art is, 414. That's in Broward. In Miami, it's in the billions of art money. But then that's what also like just to go back to like with like when we were talking about earlier of gentrification. Like art is another huge piece of gentrification because all this money is becoming injected into these communities. Like where do you think they're going to put all this art at? And that's why you see Fat Village and Wynwood and all these art things pop up because it's trendy. And that's another thing too with gentrification is that I was there. That's just
I'm just noticing what level that is and how much time he's been on it. And I'm like, how the
26 minutes in,
and he's like almost like halfway through the game.
Yeah, but like
crazy.
Going back to what I was saying, like the gentrification thing is going back to that with it happens through art because gentrification, like, I know it gets painted like it's such an evil light. But there's like it's all perspective on how you see gentrification,
right?
And then that's where a lot of people fail to realize it.
Because a lot of people they just see like, oh, where there's dope bars opening up and dope restaurants and all this other type of stuff. But what they also don't see is that
their community is getting bigger.
It's thinking better, but what they don't slowly start to see is that they're slowly moving the locals out.
They're slowly moving the locals out.
Pricing them out.
Like you also got to look at what is pushing our economy, and tourism is one of the biggest factors. Tech and tourism, is blown up all through Miami-Dade and Broward County. So like when you see all these things pop up, and these other folks are coming in, like you look at it through art, Now, let's say you take somebody who lives in New York and their rent is like $2,500 a month for like a bathroom studio or some shit.
Some shit just to shit.
You know, like
a room literally this size right here, just
and it's
it's worse, bro.
Yeah.
And so you take an artist that's paying that much money, and he's a muralist, and he gets offered a gig to do a few murals in Wynwood, and so he goes to Wynwood. He gets paid handsomely to do some murals. So he makes his money. So then they're saying like, oh wow, the south of Wynwood, I don't know this community, but shit,
looks
apartment
great.
is like $600 a month. I mean, it looks kind of dangerous, but okay. I mean,
better than paying $25.
Yeah, better than paying $2,500 a month.
Right.
Shit, let me move my ass over here.
Right.
And then it becomes a domino effect. Now all these artists just start coming into Wynwood, and then over time, now they're seeing these people who are these artists who are making a lot more money than people who live in Overtown, and then the property value starts to go up. So like people don't look at things like that. People don't look at the developer side as well. Look at it through their perspective. If I'm a developer, damn, look at this community, Dania Beach, Northwest Dania Beach, Daney. Okay, it's right by 95. It's right by the beach. It's right by 595. It's right by Los Olas. It's right by Miami. The property value is real low. It's dirt cheap. Let's buy it up. Oh, this boomer is running out of business. Let's put, this shopping mall and all this cool, trendy stuff going on. And it's cheap, and I'm going to make a profit regardless. Yeah. Why not? Just being like, I'm looking at it from their perspective. I'm not saying it's right, but like, why not?
Right.
And so then look at the political side of it as well. Like, politicians get funded. They get, because developers invest in the politicians because it makes them look like they're for the community, and they don't want to look like greedy capitalists. Right. So, they're going to fund, this person's running for commissioner or mayor or vice mayor.
That's why I give credit to the politicians that instead of building a mall, they build a community center. Yeah. And they actually find people to fund that. That's actually progressing. You know what I'm saying? Like the school right here, right? After the hurricane, the tennis courts got fucked up and the basketball rims got fucked up. They didn't even fix those. It's not in their. It's not one. It's not in their budget, and two, it's really not their concern. Yeah, so like, and so that's why you got to look at it from like all aspects, all angles, and then there's the social aspect that we talk about where the culture is leaving, the racism plays a part in it, gentrification, and all this stuff happening. That's a social aspect of it, So you look at it from a person who's been living there. Like Spike Lee was talking about it one time. Like his dad played the saxophone in Brooklyn like all his life. I mean, Spike Lee's quite up there in age, so his dad is like a little old too. But like he was talking about like his dad playing the saxophone in Fort Greene, and then now all of a sudden a few years ago, like new neighbors are starting to complain like, hey, why is this guy playing his saxophone at 10 o'clock at night? So like that's the social aspect of it. So the point comes to when can both three parties come and sit at the table and figure out what we can do?
Yeah, I mean, in on paper, can't we all just get along? Sounds really nice, But
it never happens.
Yeah, but a lot of people fail to factor in is human greed into the equation, and once you factor human greed into the equation and free will into the equation,
I think that's worth a coin. You can press the button.
You know what I'm saying?
Press the button. Go ahead. There you go.
There you go. It's perfect.
So,
I'm one.
That's dope.
2 up.
Oh, you didn't. You didn't have to.
That's dope.
So for us now to try to sit here and I guess to me now it's all about
spit it out.
That whole be the change that you're trying to see. Right. So, and that's what I want to try to focus on.
I think a lot of people believe in still the notion of hope. I mean, if not for nothing, I know Barack didn't get a lot done, and a lot of it is because his hands were tied. But if anything, he gave people hope, and a lot of people still have that. It's just how long are they going to have that?
We just have to, we have to do what my man Emmanuel's been doing this entire time, which is actually be active within our own communities. And like I said, I'm guilty of it, man. it's very easy to write a check. It's another thing to devote your time, and somebody like Emmanuel, you definitely
like when you basically say I give up is when the fight ends. Like when people like you say I give up, that's when
like,
the fight ends.
Okay, then it is fucked up.
Because the people who are social couch fucking potatoes are not going to do anything.
Yeah, they're just gonna be screaming, fuck these crackers and this and that.
Yeah,
exactly.
It doesn't get nowhere
while they walk in line to get their fucking check.
Yeah, and then they go outside. No one knows who the hell you are.
Yep.
You don't even know your commissioners who are pushing policies that affect you. Like, you're not even there at these meetings. But then again, it's like also like even with people who are doing stuff in the community, one of the things that like a lot of people where they fuck up at is like they don't really have no offspring to carry the torch. That's why you have that's why you have these Jesse Jacksons and what's the dude's name, Al Sharpton, like being like 80, 90 years old and still being community advocates.
Yeah, that's true. We don't really have nobody now.
But it's like that's the problem. It's
like, who's the other one now? Jesse Williams.
Well, I think it's because they, if
like he's the closest one.
I'm thinking of this objectively. If I was a child of somebody like that, I would look at him and be like, my father's going through all this shit. Do I really want that for me?
Yeah.
So they make a choice. You know what I'm saying? It's a choice at the end of the day.
Yeah, like,
and they
I
just
get
choose
it.
they don't want to.
Yeah, I get it. It's like I've seen what happens when you try to do that job.
Yeah.
I'm not down for that.
I mean, look what all the shit Jesse Jackson had to go through.
Yeah, I mean, but it's also like, you lose touch with people.
Right.
I mean, like we're all in our 20s and everything, but like now
30s,
it's
30s for me.
Okay, but like
31 for me.
But like like we're on our like all right, we're still quite young millennial people. And so at this age, we're like we can still connect and touch the younger crowd and vibe with them. But eventually, it's gonna come a point where I'm gonna be like 60 years old.
Right.
Like I should not be at 60 years old being Emmanuel, Black Broward, and come together. Like let's organize. Let's Black media.
Right.
Like
at that time, you're supposed to relax.
Yeah, that time it's like, yo, man, I should have somebody. There should have been someone in that time frame
to pick up the torch.
That I should have been like teaching game to, and having them do some stuff like that.
Right.
And then it's like how come how do we do that? How come we're not doing stuff like that? And that becomes an issue, and that's why you see such a disconnect. And that's why you see some of these activist people either they get bought out, like a Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, where they just become like a shell of their former selves, because they get funded by liberals or other people, groups. And then they don't do
like
anything.
you said, they do the same thing over and over. They march,
they march, and it's nothing productive, and then
it's the same thing,
or they'll get on a local level. Some of these older Black leaders that you see like on these commissioner tables and stuff like that, they were once very active in the Black Power movement, all that. But then they get tired. That's why they're just like, I'm just gonna run for commissioner. Get this taxpayer money. I'm just gonna vibe. Either that happens, or or if you were like really, really into this shit, like you get strung out like a Huey P. Newton, and then you just go crazy, and then that's just your demise, So it's like this stuff like it's really depressing, to be honest with you.
True.
So it's like I'm at this point now. It's like okay, like that's why I'm trying to focus a lot more on like childhood development as well with the kids. So that way it's like what
they think of that too, and that's why they're cutting a lot of those off.
Yeah,
like they cut that off because they know what's coming. We're trying to stop it,
of course. So, but it's like we got to start doing that. Like you got to have like mentees under you to pass it on, because eventually it's gonna get to a point like I mean I'm 29, but like a lot of shit I'm disconnected from, like even like a lot like the music and stuff, or some of this stuff. I'm disconnected from a lot of that shit. I'm like, what did he just say? What that mean?
Have you heard the Gucci Gang song?
Yeah, I heard that 2 times.
And you're like me, I'm like, well, he's just saying Gucci Gang all the time, but they love it.
Yeah,
like I just heard the ski mask, the slump guy.
Yeah, that guy has a crazy name, the ski mask slump god,
slump Broward somewhere.
Yeah, he's from Broward. Yeah,
I don't know where in Broward he's from, but like I just watched a video when he was rapping over the Missy Elliott "She's a Bitch" beat.
Oh, okay.
And he was like in New York and like Times Square, and he had,
like
a chunky
these young I equate Kodak Black to the young generation because obviously he's younger. And the things he does is just someone who just is just so misinformed. You can just see it. And like I don't want
to me, he just seems like a 19-year-old with a lot of money.
I don't want to say he's stupid or anything, But what I'm saying is that it's
he
like
does
sometimes
dumb shit.
he does some shit where it's like you're not educated.
He does a lot of dumb shit. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's the surroundings.
Like the interview we had, the Breakfast Club, it just looked like you just don't know how to conversate. Like, are you kidding me?
Do you remember yourself at 20 and thinking what was funny?
Oh, but we weren't like that at 20.
But that's what I'm saying.
I'd like to
you
believe we weren't like
you
that
weren't
at 20.
like you weren't like that, but they are like that at 20. You know, your version of whatever you're doing is him putting on a ski mask at Breakfast Club.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah.
When it comes to rap, you know, once you put money into the equation, once again, human greed.
Yeah.
Okay, once you factor it into the equation,
I mean, but there was a lot of rappers at young ages. I mean, Nas was very insightful for his age.
it's a different time altogether, bro.
I see what you're saying.
I mean, some of them. I mean, it's all surroundings. Like, thing is with Kodak is like the people around him in pumping. Like a lot of those people are like, it's like what's gonna keep him.
Yeah.
I think he's surrounded by the wrong people.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. He's surrounded by the wrong people.
For all the things there's not one guy to be like, you're doing something wrong. Mm-hmm. No one's there to tell him.
And Master P tried to mentor him.
And look what happened to Master P.
That didn't work out.
Just a slap in the face.
The surroundings.
Mm-hmm. It came to the point. Master P was like, "No, I gotta wipe my hands clean." Because,
yeah, that's crazy. When I saw that interview with him in there,
and he said he was trying to spit game to him, and he just wasn't listening. It was going one ear and out the other.
Yeah, like he paid for stuff for him.
You can't help somebody who doesn't want to be helped.
Yeah, man, it is what it is, man.
You know, so yeah, it's like even with like this stuff going on to like passing the torch, like there has to be like 15, 16-year-olds you got to reach out to, because eventually it's getting to a point, 5-6 years from now, I'm not gonna know like, hey man, these new age rappers, I don't even.
You're
know.
gonna be out of touch, yeah. I mean, that
touch.
happens to all of us.
You know, so like it's gonna happen, and then we seen it before when we were at that young age at one point, and some of it like the older hip hop stuff. Like, I mean, I respected it. But I think that's more of a different time frame, because, like, you know, a lot of, like, us are, like, hip-hop heads and stuff like that. But some of the stuff we were, like, out of touch with, like that's the style and the overall rap delivery. It was like, you know.
I just heard a record with 50 Cent, and I loved it. And he just came out there. He's trying to do a comeback. And, like, my nieces and nephews, it's not their
cool.
See, that's the thing. To
they
us,
hear
50,
it, and it's
to
like,
us,
old.
50 Cent is the rapper. Right? To them, 50 Cent is the dude that sells vitamin water, and he works in power.
Could you believe that? This generation knows Jordan as the meme and not Jordan as the player. Are you kidding me? Like, you don't know Michael Jordan was the most lethalest player on the basketball court at one time.
I can totally believe that.
But they're like, no, we just know that guy from the crying meme.
You see the it's different. Like, I mean, I have a cousin that's like 17, born in the year 2000, and he's rapping now and everything. And then, like, we had a conversation, and then he was like the people who grew up on, like Nas, Biggie, like he likes like some of them, but then it's just like some of them he's like, man, these dudes didn't, where their flow wasn't this and that. It's like, yeah, look at the time frame. And then like I was trying to compare him to like the 80s. Like, remember the 80s where like rappers were like, my name is E, I went to school. You don't go to school, you will be a fool.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
like
that 80s
rapping.
flow.
It was like that 80s flow until like Rakim and like Big Daddy Kane and
Beastie Boys and all the motherfuckers just came out.
They were like flowing like Big Daddy Kane was like, you smooth, you lose, you cruise, you choose. It was just like at that time, and like, you had to look at like at that time frame.
Right.
Like, you were like a teenager in 1985. You heard someone flowing, you're like, bro, what the fuck is that?
And then Nas
Nas came in, like,
Jay-Z.
just imagine in the 90s, like you heard like, damn, like this shit is crazy.
Queensbridge and all that shit.
So like, so it's just interesting. It's just different time frames, and
that actually gives me a lot of respect for KRS-One, because he was ahead of his time.
Yeah, he was definitely ahead
and
of
he
his
always
time.
stayed with. He can do the flows now. He just chooses not to.
Yeah, he definitely does, but
he sticks to his realm.
But like, even with hip hop, nowadays it's like about like, I mean, yeah, it is the rapper's fault for like their content and stuff that they talk about.
Right.
But then it's like no one ever talks about the people that signs them, and
I just heard Lil Pump they're calling it the greatest finesse move in music.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because have you heard about that shit?
What did he do?
So he got signed recently. It was a 360 deal. It was worth.
He got 300,000.
Oh, my boy's over here at the Bowser level. Jesus Christ.
46 stars.
For the listeners, we're watching this entire time we've been talking. There's been a speed running video
of Mario 64.
Mario 64 speed running video of this guy What's the title of the video? Can you just?
The title of the video is SGDQ
2014.
Yeah, SGDQ 2014 Super Mario 64.
So it's 120 stars speed run. So I don't think he's really trying to fully beat the game. He's just trying to get all the stars that you can within the game.
So, and he's going through...
Yeah, he's beating the game. That's 120 stars.
Is it? I thought you had to, like, after you get to fight the final version of Browser. I thought that was it.
Yeah, you do fight the third Bowser. But then again, you still got to, like, get that 8 stars in that level.
Yeah. Damn, my boy over here getting all these stars.
So, yeah, it's yeah, this is what we watching. Like, this stuff is, like...
And, like, he's, like, so it's this white kid just sitting in front of a screen with, like, hordes of people behind him just watching him just do this speed run.
That shit is... Yeah, that shit is
Look
dope,
at my boy
man.
with the afro over here, looking like Leroy over here. Yo, you see him?
Yeah, the dude with the shorts and
he
shit.
looks like he could fight UFC right now. Like,
For real. Like he's in between sparring sessions right now.
Yeah, I just came here because I finished training.
Yeah, man.
Over here with
that stuff reminds me of the arcade days when the Raw Kid had like the huge following behind him in like Marvel vs. Capcom and shit like that.
Oh my god, those used to be so fun, man. Just going to the arcade. The arcade is so dead now.
Yeah, online. I think online gaming kind of killed it.
Yeah, they need to have beer in it for me to go there
unless
now.
you go to like one of those like a Boomer's place where like little kids would play.
Yeah, Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, like a Dave and Buster's. But even Dave and Buster's has now become more adult like. Like the games are more for adults.
Oh really?
Yeah, but I don't think that crowd is like a real deal
gaming
hardcore gaming crowd. It's like, you just go to Dave and Buster's,
just
chill out vibe, with family, or you have a date, like you take your girl out there and then like you play her in these games to have fun. But it's like stuff like this.
My boy over here speed rolling. Jesus Christ! Oh, missed the coin. Yeah. Fucked up the flow.
But like,
woo. Like it was nothing. He got the star.
About to get that star.
He got the star.
Go
like
up and get that next star after.
That's what level is this one?
This lava lamp.
Oh, okay.
I forgot exactly at what point you get to this. Well, after you open a certain door, it just opens up a lot of doors, so it's not really like a certain level. It's just that room.
Yeah, it's court. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's.
Have you ever played 64? This one?
No, not fully.
What?
I played it a little bit. No, I was a PlayStation kid.
He really never played games.
You were a Sony kid.
Yeah.
Remember, he came up in the Atari days.
Atari days.
Man, Super Mario 64 changed everything.
You know what my favorite system is? Dreamcast.
Dreamcast was ahead of his time. I think that was one of his downfalls. Yeah. It was just too ahead of his time. Like 4 portables.
Plus, it didn't really have a lot of developers behind them when it came to games. Like they had Crazy Taxi, which really kept them afloat. But other than that,
that's it.
Well, they had the NBA series, Inside Drive, 2K. Which really...
When they had 2K.
Yeah, they had 2K when it first was starting.
Yeah, they owned 2K. They owned the rights. But yeah, like that, I think with Dreamcast, it was just like too ahead of its time. Like online gameplay, 4 controller ports, everything. I think like people just weren't ready for it.
They even had the thing where there's a device you can put into it, and it's like remember the Dino Eggs? You ever had those keychains where it's like a dinosaur you take care of? They had
Tamagotchi.
those. Yeah, they had those for the Dreamcast. You remember that hole they had? That's what you can put in there.
A Tamagotchi?
Yeah. No, well, like the ones they have for Dreamcast.
Oh.
So it was like, this is just some crazy shit they were putting out.
True.
I mean, Sega's not around. Well, Sega's around, but they're just now a developer.
Yeah.
And they're not really doing too good because the last few Sonic games were really shitty.
Yeah, I think Sonic is pretty much done now. Like I
think they're just trying to keep it like Mario, and just give it to every generation.
But it doesn't have the same impact. Like Mario Odyssey that just came out the other day. Like it's like Mario still has that wow factor, that it factor.
Yeah, the last game really did.
Yeah, because like when that was announced, it was like, holy shit, Mario Odyssey. It's like it's like okay, it's gonna be dope. Even though it's the same typical Mario adventure with a few twists, but like with Sonic, it's kind of like. Sonic.
It's a cool world.
I mean, soon consoles is not going to matter. We're going to have VR. VR is coming real soon.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's growing by the day.
You think people are going to get tired of just like wanting to just sit back, relax on the couch?
I think so. It depends how in depth you can go in VR. If it's just you putting it on as just the screen's closer to your eyes, that's not really going to do much. You know what I'm saying? What really is going to start taking off is AR. AR is
What's AR?
AR is where basically instead of you going into a virtual reality, your world around you becomes virtual. So like, let's say
alternate reality.
Somewhat. It's like basically how if you're Tony Stark and you put on Iron Man, the Iron Suit, you get like, you know, you can see everything. Where if like I'm looking at this chair, it'll pop up the description of the chair and everything. That's how they're trying to do.
Wow.
They've gone from a fucking headset, which would end up being a backpack behind you, this big ass thing that's like almost 100 pounds, but you would be immersed in like everything you're seeing, like all these things that I have here, where it's all these boxes of Spider-Man and all this shit. I would be able to see it, and I can find out like all the information just by looking at it. It would like give it to me in this bubble or something. You know what I mean? They've gone to that where it's now this little circle clip-on thing where you put it here and you put on these goggles. Soon it's just going to be in the goggles. And then you're going to be able to buy these shits. It's going to be glasses where you can just fucking buy a prescription of it. And then you're going to be in this AR world wherever you walk around. You can just do whatever the fuck you want.
Oh, that'd be dope.
To me, virtual reality ain't going to be really the biggest thing until you actually go into. Like, it puts me immersed. Like, my being as this character in this world. Like, a la Sword Art Online.
Okay, true. I see.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
where they do some nerve shit, which they're trying. The new test that they're doing is it's a thing where they put around your body. It's like a little suit that you put on around your whole body, and whenever something happens to you, it gives you like a nerve shock. Okay. But it will simulate what's going on in the actual world you're in. So if you get hit in your arm, it's gonna basically give you a small little nerve shock, so your body feels it, because it's taking basically your consciousness away and putting it somewhere else.
That's dope.
Yeah, but that's freaky.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They're taking your body. Your body's still there, but your mind is somewhere else.
Yeah,
and we're not too far off from that shit. Like Elon Musk, who's like to me one of the smartest scientists in the world. Like he's saying, you know, people are, you know, getting afraid of like, oh, every technology is ever like getting faster. It's like, yo, we're not 20 years, 30 years away from ARs or what's it called, AI systems. We're like 5. Like that's just gonna come, and it's not gonna be like a movie where there's a time period like Blade Runner where they're in this time period where AI systems, robots are really like working interchangeably with humans. It's gonna be like, no, they just take over with like everything. When it comes to like when you go to McDonald's, it's just gonna be some AI system where you just press a button and then they just bring it to you, like Japan. You know, they have those systems where
they're already starting to have that. There's a McDonald's by my job. The McDonald's right there in the corner. Mm-hmm. They now have automatic ordering booths there.
They're
like
getting there.
Screens.
Soon those jobs are going to be obsolete.
Completely gone. We're
getting there, cool.
That's why trading, getting involved, being creative is a must.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. This time it's if you have an idea, run with it.
For sure.
Yeah. That's why you gotta be creative. Like no ideas like too far out.
Yeah.
You know, like there was the guy from like 1975 who had like the pet rock and he made like $1 million.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. You know, like that's what I'm saying. Like no ideas.
You can still buy that. Go on Amazon, get the pet rock. It's a novelty gift.
Yeah.
You know,
or now you can get the stone. It's just a cubus.
So that's why I'm saying like now it's time to be creative. Like if you want to do that podcast, do that podcast. Yeah. You want to do that vlog, do that vlog.
Do it.
You know, like it it's imperative. Like there's money to be made.
Yeah, like back in the day,
imperative people.
Back in the day, the American dream was you come to this country, you work hard, and you either create a business or you have money saved up, and you just live. But now it's not like that. It's not like back in the 1980s.
So easy anymore.
Yeah,
no, it's not so easy anymore.
Yeah, graduating high school, get a trade job or whatever, or a factory job.
Work 20 years, have a family.
Yeah, those days are over.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, now it's all about the hustle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And my man Emmanuel hustles. Yo, I mean, Black Broward Film Project.
This guy with the plugs, he's so good with it.
You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, Jesus, like he has so many projects going on. You know what I mean? On top of all the outreach that he does in the community, you know what I'm saying? That, you know, frankly, it's definitely made me look at my output and be like, all right, I need to do a little bit better, you know, personally.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I could do, you know.
You need to go to soup kitchen, nigga.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. At least something, you know what I mean? Just so I don't feel too guilty about it.
But y'all doing it though with the podcast. I mean,
well, exactly, and that's all well and good, but still, nonetheless, you could always do more. I feel.
Yeah, when you come in the room and you're doing all this shit, we're like, okay, our podcast.
Right. Cool.
I'm coming into the room and I'm seeing like the dope setup and everything. I'm like, man, I gotta get my stuff.
This came from a lot of trial and error.
Yeah, we figured this.
We started from a mic and 4 of us huddled around it.
Yeah.
I'm working right. I mean, that's why like with the whole BME award situation,
right.
Which is like a Black Men of Excellence, which they give like a $10,000 grant to 10 black men down here in Miami-Dade, South Florida. To who are in the community doing stuff, and for them to use that $10,000 for whatever like said project that they're working on,
right?
Now this is something that you're sponsoring, or you're running for it. So can people do people vote for you?
Yeah,
or?
Vote for me. Yeah.
Okay, So why didn't you should have said this from the jump?
I mean, I'm going to put it in the description.
Oh, we're definitely going to put it in the description of the podcast,
and then put my email.
Yeah,
my email is my whole name.
When is it? When is the contest running from?
End of January, I believe.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, this will be before that. This will be up before that.
He told me about it. And I voted.
And Ello voted for me. I appreciate that, man.
Okay, I didn't know that. I'll totally go do that now. For sure.
I think I fucking tagged you in some shit.
Yeah, like
I got to look it up then, because I would. We were told. So where can the people find that?
I tagged Ivan. And
yeah,
he
it's
voted.
like 123 dot. It's like BME.
Yeah, something like that. BME.
Get send you the link.
I got the link somewhere.
Okay. So yeah, check it out in the description, guys. We'll have it over there for sure. Be sure to vote for
my email
for
EmmanuelAbdulGeorge. My whole name.
Yeah.
Okay, so, Emmanuel. All right. Now, once again, where can the people find all your stuff at?
Black Broward. It's my Instagram. Emmanuel George, my Facebook page. And you can also find me every Mondays at 8 p.m. The Hub AOH Radio. It's a podcast myself. Miss Peaches Huntley, who's running for Commissioner of District 3, which is the Sistrunk Melrose area of Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, okay, great.
And Jasmine Lassane, who I think Ello, you know Jasmine from Pompano.
She works for the Huntington.
She does with like kids in Ely. She has the Lassane project.
I think I know what you're talking about.
She has dreads.
Okay. Gold dreads.
I think it might like gold tips. I don't know, but she has dreads, kind of like light skin. But she does like a lot of work.
She was at that meeting, right?
Yeah, she wasn't at the meeting.
She wasn't at the meeting. I think I'm thinking about somebody else.
Yeah, but she's she does like a lot of work in Pompano. So it's like 3 of us from like South Central and North Broward, and we come together to discuss things happening in Broward, and we have guest speakers from people who are contributing, doing things politically or just creative in Broward, so you can find me on there as well.
I mean, it's a podcast.
That's awesome, man. Shout out to All Out Hustle, man.
So much information is flowing out of that shit, bro.
Yeah,
they always show love, too.
Like, if you listen to it, they just information.
Like, I think it's all
like, if you really want to learn about your community, or at least here in Broward, like, that's the podcast.
Man. Give the man Emmanuel George a shout out, if... he might be able to direct you as to where to go, where you can go help out in your area.
Yeah, it's good that you're doing that, bro.
If you guys want to go ahead and donate or participate in anything that he's got going on. Yeah, if you guys want to donate and participate in anything that he's got going on, man, be sure to hit him up, man. Yeah. Emmanuel George on Facebook, Emmanuel George on Instagram, you said, right?
Yeah, Instagram at Black Broward.
At Black Broward, And man, be sure to check him out, guys.
How much time we have?
We're 2 hours deep.
Shit.
Yeah, see, it just goes, man.
Bro.
Damn,
it just goes, man. So as always,
we're gonna probably go down as the longest podcast.
Yeah, this actually is the longest one so far.
I love this show, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
Man.
Hey, listen, man. Thank you for coming. Honestly,
man, I thank y'all, man, because I actually talk about other shit besides politics all the time. I mean, we didn't talk about politics, but like I like talking.
About we were saying before. That's what it is. We just want to have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to treat it as
you just come on and just talk whatever the fuck
we're just 3 dudes talking about stuff.
To get some. I mean, I'm gonna reference you guys to some people who might even be on the show sometime.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure, we're definitely looking for people.
When I started this shit, I was fine if I just get a plumber on this shit. Just tell me about, just talk about that shit.
Yeah,
I find anything that anybody does and they have a skill in it to be fascinating.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So. As always, I am JServe, and you can find me at JServe954 on all social media, at JServe TV on YouTube.
I'm Ello Soul. You can find me at Ello Soul 463 on all social media, and Ello Soul YT for my YouTube channel.
And yeah, that was another episode of the Parental Advisory Podcast, y'all.
Yeah.
Peace.
We out this shit, bitch, y'all.
Peace. That was a great episode.